some point we have to realize that the cavalry is not coming over the ridge. No one's gonna come and save us. It's not gonna be easy. It's up to us. It's up to us.
Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the White Elephants. Carl Kenner, Happy Easter, Buzzy 181, Reverend Dank Buds Pro. What is up? You seem like a new person. If you could subscribe, that would be great. We're trying to reach 10,000 here. As you guys know me, my name is David, and I'm with the Red Elephants. As you can see, decided to throw on a shirt today. I don't have too many shirts here that actually can go with the blazer I wear nowadays, so I'm just doing a shirt today. Red-pilled, libertarian, gay. What's gay? Oh, wow. Whenever I do these videos, I get so thirsty. I'm only like a couple seconds in, I'm already drinking. Man, I'm always here, and I had you guys paid $20 last time, but you guys, oh my gosh. It was probably, oh, okay, so you were basically here when I was doing the drinking stream with my buddy Zachariah. I'm gay. This is not a pink shirt, just so you know. This is a red. It's a little light on the camera, but this is a red color. But yeah, we're doing what's today? Today is Sunday, right? So, or Saturday, I mean. So yeah, today is the Saturday stream. We're back to the normal stuff. We're not doing the spring break stuff anymore. It is the weekend, typical shows. Could be doing something quick today. I don't know. I feel like talking, but then I don't. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. It could be an hour. Could be max 3 hours. We'll see what there's to talk about. Things like that. A lot of new stuff coming though. Yes, I love you, channel. Thank you, Reverend. I've I've come a long way since my first show to now. Usually consistency is my main problem, but nowadays it's been pretty clean. Asmodor was cool. What's up? The former Black Republican here watching the White Elephants. Awesome. We're supportive of everybody. As long as you're on the right, as long as you're not gonna be punching me when the great second meme war comes around and you're punching the other way. That's all I care about. Hey bro, I love you. My autistic friend Nick Gers wants a shout out. What's up, Nick Gers? He sounds like a good guy. Roast King. You guys have to sub, okay? I'm trying to reach 10,000. I'd like to go on the community and be able to post stuff down the thing. Buzzy181, what's up? Roast King, LOL. I wonder why you're laughing. Haven't said any jokes or anything. Haven't done anything crazy today. Just here giving shout outs to people. That's all. Nothing too crazy. You know, just having a quick little. This is getting on live stream fails. Well, whatever. If someone wants to take it, they take it. 1 million views. Well, if that's what I have to do to get the message across, that you know, I haven't said anything too crazy yet, so I'm not sure why I would end up on any fail stuff. My little brother has elephantitis. He looks like a eucalyptus tree. Can you give him a shout out? You got a lot of people that want shout outs today, huh? A lot of shout outs. All right, well, let's get on with the show. You know, we can't be giving out shout outs all day here. But before we went online, I saw this crazy story on my timeline, and I just have to bring it up. I don't know the details or anything like that. Devon A, how's it going? I don't really recognize your name, so if you can sub, please sub. But I really want to talk about this story really quick. So apparently, there was a lesbian couple. Okay, so so there was a lesbian couple in California, where I'm from, and they adopted 6 African children. And apparently, what was it? Apparently, child services came to their house to check on the 6 African kids that the lesbian couple adopted, and they wouldn't answer the door. And then they put all the kids in the car and they abruptly drove away. and somehow off PCH they flew off a cliff. So 3 of the kids their bodies were found, and 3 of the others are still missing. It's a very crazy story. Yeah, it's brand new. It's like 22 minutes old from the person that posted it. Very crazy story. Because I do know that I heard something that, like, or at least I'm basically quoting Milo here, and he was saying that in homosexual couples and in lesbians, I think lesbians are at the top, actually have the highest rates of domestic abuse in any type of relationship. So that's interesting. And then they flew off a cliff. I know women drivers are stereotyped as not being the best drivers, but just a very strange story. You know, just 2 white lesbian ladies adopt 6 Africans, and then, I mean, if they're being called to your house for some reason, that must be some abuse, I would assume. And then lesbians tend to have a lot of domestic violence. Like, obviously, women tend to fight women, men tend to fight men. There's just, when you're with the same gender in a relationship, there's a higher chance you're going to fight. As a guy, there's probably lower rates of hitting women just because you're different beings. Men tend to kill men over things, right? It's just a manly thing to want to fight another man. And then women, obviously, it's free game because it's fair. That's why there's a higher chance of fighting, because it's fair. When men and women tend to not really fight because it's not really fair, and then women will attack men, and it's not really perceived as anything. That's why you see on, like, videos where they're doing social experiments, you'll see like a man sitting somewhere, like in a park, and then a woman will be standing there hitting her boyfriend, husband, whatever, and people walk by, they kind of look, but they don't really do anything. Some of them start laughing, smiling, things like that, because they view that if the woman is attacking the man, that must be because the man did something bad, he must deserve it, kind of thing. And also, it's just a woman, she can't really do any major damage to him because he's a man. So, like, that's kind of the mindset to it. Whereas, with the man, if he was doing the same thing, obviously, like, there's a woman could hit a guy 10 times, but if a man, like, she could hit him as hard as she can 10 times, and if a man did the same, the damage would be completely different. We're talking, like, if a woman hit a guy 10 times, maybe he might have a black eye or a bloody nose, but if a guy did the same thing, all of a sudden she's in a hospital, brain damage sort of thing. And I think that's why things are perceived differently, because obviously our brains perceive reality, whether or not they socially admit it. Deep down, they do understand reality, and whether they like it or not. But yeah, that's why there's more abuse in the same kind of gender households. This is just a very strange story, though, because all of this is rare. Like, first of all, lesbian couples are rare. I think the gay community in itself is only like 5% of the entire, like, probably human population, or maybe that was USA. I get a lot of these stats mixed, but either way, it's very small. And so for that to happen, and then for white people to have black kids is, I would think, pretty small. Let alone 6 kids. Someone having 6 kids, that's a lot. So there's probably another, like, a minority within a minority within a minority. And then obviously that's a crazy situation that they all went flying off a cliff and all died. Like, that's another rare situation. So a minority, like a rare situation, like a rare thing within a rare thing within a rare thing within a rare thing. Very, very crazy, and it's a very sad end. I thought I would tell you guys, because just such a strange story in so many ways. Like, obviously they're still looking to see if there was any survivors. But just a very strange story. I saw that and I was just like, I have to say something about that. I have to let people know, just because it's a very it's a very strange story. You don't hear that very often. Yeah, so I just wanted to go over that really quick. If you guys are still in here, comment. You guys seem to be good listeners today. You guys seem to be a very good listener. Very good listeners. Very quiet today, as usual. Of course, nothing's really working. Um, I know more people have donated other than this, other than J22, and I know uh, I've met a few lesbians, and they are all crazy. Yeah, well, that's because it's feminists in themselves are pretty crazy. Let alone that's as far as you go. That's as far as you go as a woman. That's as crazy as you go. Is as a feminist. Like if you were a feminist, you go like, oh, I'm just like there's different levels to it. So probably level one would be, oh, well, I'm for equality of all the genders. I'm for men's rights, women's rights, like classical feminists. And then you have like level two, which is right now, which is like woman supremacy. They want women to have more money than men. They want they just want women's superiority, and they'll claim it's inequality. It's to fight inequality, but it really isn't. It's superiority. They want women in positions of power. They want men out. It's kind of like with the minorities, but just on a gender level. And then you go last level, which is they believe they're completely women are superior, but also they are Rose King. You got me good. What are you talking about, my brother? Uh, and the last one, of course, is women's supremacists, I guess you could say, and they also they don't like men. They probably don't want children, or nah, they don't like men. They probably don't like males in general. They are just full on, just they don't like men. They're lesbians and they want nothing to do with men. And also, they want women to be on the top of everything. TBH, dude, you're funny. This is why I am subbed. Thank you, Roast King. I try my best. Tell your buddies, tell your pals, tell your fellas, tell your people, tell your brothers, everybody. They like dildos. Yeah, well, you know what? They can try to get away from men all they want, but at the end of the day, they still are. They still got to put something in there, right? And that something still has to be molded by a certain something, which comes from a man. So they can do all they want, but they'll never get away from it. White guy, what's up? Holla, David. Es mi amigo Zeus Aqua. You guys are trying to come after me today. Nature's real, and you're right. Yeah, nature's real. And the more you get away from nature, the worse it's gonna be for you. Just got back from Easter. Let's keep the red pills going this weekend. Yeah, just putting out content out there. Probably competing against a certain somebody. If you guys want to be cool, you have 2 tabs open. You'll be watching me doing my whatever this is, and also probably if you want something crazy to watch, probably Asian Andy, right? Asian Andy is a friend of the show. He's a friend of mine. He's a cool guy. Met him at TwitchCon. Very cool dude. Very laid back. He goes through a lot, so give him a sub, give him a like, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully sometime we can get him on here. Of course, this show is very much adapting. This is kind of like the basic level of it. This isn't like the Super Saiyan form. This is just the base form right now. I'm working on other things. I want to do a show where like maybe on certain days or whenever I feel like it, we'll do like a day where I'll take on like you guys could somehow, if I can connect the Discord, something like that, we can like have discussions instead of me just ranting at my computer and then trying to read your guys' comments. I would much rather have like an actual conversation. Like whenever we do voice chats in the Discord, it's very fun. We get to, it's not just about me. I want it to be about ideas. Like that's why in Andy Worski's show, I very much like the debating stuff. It really is too bad that they're getting away from it though, and they want to go back into the full retard stuff. But what can you do? Low IQ stuff attracts low IQ people. But I mean, I went there for the high IQ stuff. I'm hoping that if they want to go away from the high IQ stuff, hopefully at the Red Elephants, once we're back this mid-April we can start bringing on the high IQ stuff. I don't know if I don't want to label it blood sports. I want it to be like high IQ conversations kind of thing. Thoughts on Trump's bad actions lately? Came out that Bolton was likely picked because he's a Trump loyalist, not a neocon. Yeah, I mean, coming from my normie Republican friends, and I think a lot of people on the right don't really have those. And because of that, they don't really understand how things are. So they tend to spurg and, talk about things. And there's a lot of safe space, or not really safe space, but there's a lot of echo chambers. Not a safe space because they're not hiding from anyone. They're getting kicked off stuff because they don't want to, because they want to talk to people. But so I'd say echo chambers. And they don't really know what like normal Republicans talk about. They don't really know the topics, and they think it's a good thing to not really care. And from my circles, from these areas, people are saying, they've been wanting Bolton to get rid of McMaster for a long time. They thought McMaster was very much a globalist, maybe a bad guy. I've heard from these circles who didn't really comment on the McMaster stuff. Now they're saying that Bolton's even worse. I don't know about that. I know from a lot of the normie people, they're very glad Bolton's there. They think he's a Trump loyalist kind of thing. I've heard a lot of things, but I would say from the normie circles I've seen, it seems like a good thing that Bolton is in charge. I can't go into detail why exactly. I can just say that people think McMaster's a globalist and this guy really isn't. People could say he's a neocon, and neocons aren't great either. But I still think neocons are better than globalists. I don't know if McMaster was necessarily one, but we need Trump people in there. We need to collectivize, right? And we can't be picky. Everyone wants to be picky. That's all of the conversations we've been having lately is we need to be picky. We need to. There's no flexibility, right? We need to one strike, you're out, that kind of thing. But that kind of behavior, that one strike, you're out behavior, that's what's gonna make. I mean, we're already part of a small movement, and that's just gonna only make it smaller. Bolton understands the that stuff. Look, I am very much a George Washington isolationist for the most part. I don't want to get into wars. I don't want to do any of that stuff. I just want to focus on me and my people. I just started playing Civilization. Just started playing it. Apparently, when you start playing the game, you play as Carthage. So I'm working on that. Hey, if you guys, I really like putting out content. I really like talking to you guys. I have a lot of fun doing this stuff. I wouldn't be doing this for any other reason. I'm not here for the money or stuff. I just I like just hanging out kind of thing. And unfortunately, young people nowadays, we don't really have that community that our parents and our parents' parents had. Mainly due to technology. Technology is a good thing, but it's also a downside. But I was thinking of maybe doing some video game stuff. I got very consistent doing this. Consistency is like really my worst problem. Like even when I was going to school, I could never be consistent. I would go to school maybe a couple of times a week. It was like that ever since like middle school. I absolutely hated it. I didn't like being told what to do. Now I think about it, maybe that's why it was so easy for me to become a right wing person because I don't like being told what to do. And in the left, it's all about telling people what to do constantly. Uh, I gotta stop trying to read you guys' comics. Every time I do that, I get taken off. I forget my place. But yeah, I don't want war. I just want to focus on our people. We got a lot of problems here. We don't need to be I know war helped us get out of the depression, but it's not gonna help us. It's not going to help us like right now. We have a lot of problems where if we had just more dead people, that's not going to do us any good. What the heck are you typing, white guy? Is that Spanish? I don't know what that is, but yeah, if you guys wanted, I'm totally fine. I finally gotten my shit together, so to speak. When it comes to live streaming, I'm very consistent. I very much stay to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's something that I can do for a while. Sonnin's in here. What's up? I can do this for a while, so I was thinking maybe of doing like some not just like I don't want to play just regular games though. Like I think that'd be kind of like low IQ and low T to do like normal games, like play Fortnite and all that stuff. It's not really. I mean, I like playing that game, those kinds of games, but I don't think I should put that out there. I think it'd be cool playing like For Honor. Seems like a very high T game, very high T. Swords versus swords, it's like our ancestors how to battle. It wasn't just this shooting someone from miles and miles away kind of thing. And then, like sniper battles or anything like that. It's very high T, sword versus sword, body versus body kind of stuff. Um, play what you enjoy. I don't know. I mean, I haven't enjoyed a game since Halo 2, honestly. That was my favorite game. Used to play that ranked. I used to miss most of the days of the week out of school just so I could play that. I did my homework, I did my papers, I did my stuff, but I liked doing it on my own. I didn't like sitting at school with all these people that were just just jumping off tables and stuff. Very childlike behavior all the time. Just play what you want. Yeah, but I don't know. But I want to play games where we can like do stuff together. We have to get good at collectivizing, guys. It is why I started in the White Elephants chat. I started that new little channel so we can do things together. We can get good at collectivizing, and like we could throw out like petitions. Everyone signs a petition. Like has to make sure everyone has to sign it. We get people into the Discord. The more we grow, the more we get to collectivize. It's something we really have to do. It's something we really have to do. Overall thought on school attendance or even state of public schools. I don't like public schools. I want the Department of Education to be taken away. I'm kind of one of those right wing guys that I believe the more government we have in something, the worse things get because there's no real economic incentives to try harder, right? It's like going to the gym every single day and then your muscles just won't get any bigger. So at some point you just kind of give up. You had to have, clear incentives. You had to see progress. You had to see things increase. But in government, things like that don't really happen. That's why if you compare like, the U.S. mail system and then you compare it to the other mail systems like a UPS or FedEx, it's a whole different story. It's like not even close. Like compare AAA and compare the DMV. Which one are you going to go to? Like the private sector always wins. I don't know. You guys may have enjoyed school, but I didn't. I really didn't like it. The schools were too. I think I would have liked it if I had small classes. I think if I lived in a small community with small classes, because when I went to elementary school, I went to a school that was very much everyone knows everybody, and I very much enjoyed it. It was really nice. Same thing in like preschool. It was like everyone knew everybody. But then the minute I went into middle school, it was like throwing a rock into the ocean. It was just so many people. So many people. Same thing in high school. So many people. Kids should be getting college level education. Yeah, there's so many problems in the education system because it's just the same old, right? You go to elementary school, you learn basically the basic stuff that you need. Getting into middle school, it's a little bit more difficult, but it's kind of the same crap, a little bit more difficult. Then you get into high school, and then it's the same crap again, and then maybe a little bit more difficult. College is a waste of time. Yeah, if I had to say, like, if I had kids right now, and I had to say, like, they're graduating high school and I had to give them advice, I would say, look, right, there was this article that actually has said that this because there's so many people and colleges are so congested and it's so normal probably to get a bachelor's degree. A bachelor's degree is going to be it's going to have the same power of that of like a high school diploma. So then you're going to have to go further. The further you go, the more debt you go. I would say because everyone's going into college, there's not enough tradespeople. There was an article that said this, so I would say go into trade. You're going to get way more. It's way more jobs, and they're real jobs because people are always going to need plumbers. They're always going to need electricians. They're always going to need like welders. There's certain things that people always need. Um, and you very much had to think about the things that you can't be replaced in because obviously we're going to get more and more mechanized. Basic jobs like even grocery jobs for the most part are going to get taken over. My children are going to be homeschooled. Yeah, if you don't want your kids to get shot, keep them at home. If you don't want if you don't want your wife to get sexually assaulted or raped, keep her at home. I mean, just keep them at home, and then pack the home with guns. That's what you need. You keep complaining about like there's these people I know. They work in a certain field, and they're complaining that people are getting crushed by objects and things like that, right? They're complaining that people are getting jacked up. But at the same time, the people in charge want to mechanize the area so that no one can get crushed and hurt and things like that. So, but then the workers there say, "Hey, but if you mechanize it, yeah, we won't get hurt or anything like that, but then we'll lose our jobs." And so it comes down to this whole garbage thing. And I can see both sides, but I think if you want to move the human race forward, we have to get more and more mechanized. Now, there are limits to this, obviously. Like we see, I know how you Christians or Catholics or just whatever sects inside that. I know how you guys talk about the mark of the beast, and I understand it. And trust me, I'm not I don't know everything. I can't quote you verses or nothing. I'm not that knowledgeable. Is that a phone in here? Oh, it's in here somewhere. I'll be right back. I'm gonna use that new screen. All right, sorry about that. I hate that when it's like who has normal phones nowadays anyways, right? Who has normal phones? I think that's like a rare thing. That's like a fossil getting up and walking around, sort of a normal phone, connected to the wall sort of thing. Oh, I was trying to go on a rant. Um, but yeah, I think 90% of women are those types. What the hell was going on when I walked out for like a second? Are we having a battle of the women's? Men should be attracted to women who can process wild game. Well, I mean, they're gonna have to. I think what's gonna happen is the right doesn't know how to fight, guys. They don't know how to fight. I mean, you have this David Hogg kid. He's oh God, 1 second. Jesus. Okay. All right. All right. No more interruptions. Damn. So difficult. What was I saying? So you got this. Let's really talk about. Let me switch that on the YouTube here. I want to switch that and make this the main topic. I should have probably started out with this honestly, but the main thing is you got this kid David Hogg, and this kid, what is he? He's like in high school. Some people say he graduated and all that. I don't believe that, but this kid is in high school. And Laura Ingraham said something. I think she said something on the likes of, what was it? She basically said something that kind of insulted him, which is funny because this kid, all he does is fucking insult people. And he had that whole tirade where fuck this, fuck that person, dropping F bombs. And this kid goes and, he goes after her, kind of in the way of like, oh, you're talking shit, huh? Kind of on a like if I was a religious person, like or like a Christian, I should say, or Catholic, or any of that kind of stuff, I would say I think this kid's turned out to be the Antichrist. I mean, that's the thing that makes sense to me here. I mean, this kid, the Antichrist is supposed to be everyone likes them. They're clean cut. They do all this stuff, and then they kind of like a Luciferian thing, right? He's the light bringer, the ultimate, most beautiful angel, all of that kind of stuff. And and he goes and he's doing maybe something like this. And he goes and all he has to do is he says, "Oh, so you're talking smack," and then he goes and all right, and he posts all of the advertisers of her show, which is like 12 of them. I don't know if there's more than that. And within like a day or two, like at least 4 to 6 companies bailed. They already bailed 4 to 6 of them. It's just so crazy how powerful, like the left is so good at collectivizing. All he had to do was say, hey, just call up these companies. And he didn't even have to give a reason. He kind of just said, oh, you're insulting me. And guys, it would suck if someone called up these companies. He'd even have to tell them, hey, harass these people. Like, these people are so crazy. All he had to do was post these places, and then they all just went in and called them all up themselves. And boom, she's gone. No fight back. Fox was like, they put on a guest person. They said, oh, she's not coming on tonight. I'll be a guest. And the next thing you know, you find out she's going on a long vacation. So you have a big character on the right was destroyed immediately by some high school kid. And he has no knowledge of guns. All he does is fearmonger. They have the tunnel vision on, so all they see is guns are bad. No knowledge about guns. Never held a gun. Never shot a gun. No nothing. And that kid was able to take her out in like a day. And what do we hear from the right? Are we hearing a fight back? Are we boycotting those same companies to go back to them? No. Are we protesting anyone? No. We just literally one of our chess pieces just got taken off the board, and we're just gonna sit here and complain about it. But that's what right wing people do best, isn't it? They all they do is they sit around, they yell at their TV, they yell about how the country's being taken away from them. They'll yell about it. They'll do all that kinds of stuff, but they won't actually get up and do nothing. They won't donate money. There was a study that came out that showed that people on the right don't donate as much as people on the left. And we're just, like, guys, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to get your hands dirty, And I saw that at the Trump when Trump came to California. There was an Asian guy, and these people went by. They had the Mexican flag, and the Asian guy ran up. I think he might have taken it from him. I didn't really see, but either way, he ended up with the flag. And then we had it on the floor, and he was ripping it up with his hands. And then he was like, let's burn it. And he was trying to do that. And then what happened? All these cucky ass old conservatives run in and say, no, we can't do that. We're better than that. Really? Is that how you're going to get votes? Because I could have sworn that that the bully that gives that gives swirlies to the to the little right wing kid. I don't think people are like, I don't think that little right wing kid is getting votes because he's getting swirlies. Like, there's nothing cool about being a victim. There's nothing cool about being a little pussy, And I don't know, maybe it's because I'm all about the low route. someone punches me, I punch back in the same way. They go low, you go lower. That's how it is in nature, guys. You look at the ones that are ruling are the alphas, and they aren't nice. You look at monkey behavior. There's the alpha, and he runs in, he beats the shit out of everyone, and then he just takes all the women's. He takes what he wants, and the strongest survive, and the weak don't really get nothing, right? And this whole, and then it's so cocky. Like you have, there's so many videos of like you'll have leftists burning up American flags right in front of us, and then when we're thinking about rushing them, you have right wing people saying, "Oh no, that's their First Amendment right, and I'll fight to the death for even their rights." And it's just like these people, they don't care about you or your rights. They're gonna take your rights, and they have rights, but you don't, and then they're gonna rule you. But you're gonna like while we're in this fight, you're gonna it's like we're fighting hand to hand, right? These guys, and then their side says we're not gonna fight fair. Fuck that. Fuck principles, and they pull out a knife, and then we're just like, we don't want to cuck on our principles, so we're not gonna pull out a knife, and then or if we did pull out a knife, then all of a sudden the ref, which is another right wing person that's trying to be fair, all of a sudden they're like coming after us saying, "Hey, you're not allowed to do that." you know, one rule for us and one rule for them, right? I remember going out to Berkeley, and it's just like the left, they don't care about the rules. They formed up in their collective, and they marched and they stomped down the barrier, and they didn't care about the cops, and the cops just ran away. And what did we do when we got there early? We walked in, said hi to the cops, Blue Lives Matter. Here's all our weapons so that we could protect ourselves with. And then while we're standing around, Antifa forms up. They walk in, they smash the barriers. The cops say, "Oh, these guys are scary," and the cops leave. And then it's us versus them. We're fighting. And what do the cops do when we go to protect ourselves? The cops are arresting our guys. And they swoop in to try to save the day by arresting us. That's what's going on in the world. And you know why? Because the left, they're scary. They don't care about the rules. They're willing to do whatever it takes. And that's why the cops and the authorities and the politicians and these people don't go after certain groups, because certain groups scare them. But they don't want to show that there's no law either. So then they'll go after certain people. Like in Europe, you have all like the people that speak out about the problem are getting put in jail, but the people who are causing the problems, those guys are free. Those guys, hey, they're just part of another culture, no big deal. It's you want to rape a kid, whatever, he just got here, not his fault. That's just something that happens there. The alt-right doesn't think that voting does anything. Well, yeah, I mean that is kind of retarded. I mean, obviously it did something. Obviously, Trump isn't perfect or anything, but obviously we like Trumping in there more so than anyone. We won. We got more seats ever than possible. Look, if we get outnumbered, then yeah, it will mean nothing. But right now, it's not a lost game, and so it still means something. But I agree. If we get to the point where we're outnumbered, then yes, it will mean nothing. But it hasn't gotten that far yet. It hasn't gotten that far. It still means something. Everyone should be running and all that stuff. The system is obviously corrupt. There is a swamp, but we could still put our guys in there. We could still get in there. We have to do what we can. Electorally, we're not outnumbered at least yet. Yes, J22, you're absolutely correct. White guy. Oh my God, that's crazy. Arthur would never stoop down to that level. I mean, if you guys want to get all 30 of you, if all 30 of you guys want to go grab your AR-15s and go grab some chicken tendies and march up to Washington and take it over, that's on you guys. But 30 versus the whole National Guard and all that, I don't know. I think those are kind of bad odds in my opinion. But I mean, what I know, right? I don't know. I'm not a military guy. I'm not a stolen valor. I'm never going to claim to be anything like that. I did think about joining the military when I came out of high school, but I kind of pussied out. Nowadays, my Nowadays, it's a little too late. I don't know what the strategies, guys. Like I know in the Discord, I was throwing out my opinions on stuff, and obviously there's disagreements because everyone is everyone's very was it very steadfast in their beliefs. But I think there has to be some debate on the little stuff, right? We're not debating the big stuff. We're debating the little stuff. Alphonse, man, you guys are coming in here with some tough names. Alphonse, what is up? Bilinguals? Okay, I don't know. You guys have some tough names. If you haven't subbed, please sub. I do a show Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I also do a IRL show where I ask people questions. I'm going to try to make that like a week thing. So hopefully once a week I'm able to ask people questions. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, electorally, yeah, we have to look, guys. It's like MMA. We have to use everything, right? We can't just box. We have to box. We have to kick. We have to wrestle. We have to know jujitsu. We have to know all of it. We have to attack everything, right? You can't just punch the guy in the head. You gotta go for the body. Gotta kick him in the legs. You gotta work everything. There's no like one punch solution, right? There's you just look on the left. They have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff. They have, I mean, they have so many communities and so many different ways of fighting and coming from so many. I mean, just look, when we're debating these people, we have to debate so many different things. Implying a constitutional republic is even a good system. A government, well, yeah, I mean, I have to say there's a downside to a republic, obviously. To a republic, it leads to corruption, right? Oh,
Trump needs to know about the 2,000 plus migrant march that's happening right now, coming to the border. We need icing everyone to stop this invasion.
I'll put it over here. Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, it's gotten really serious. It's gotten really, really serious. And just imagine, guys, if Hillary Clinton was president right now. Imagine that. There would be no, there would be no debates. There would be no. It would be purely bring them all in. If you say anything against this, you're just hateful. You're a bigot. You're deplorable. The floodgates would be going on right now. And the problem is the people that think that they can just control the floodgates are going to get consumed themselves. And that's the main thing is they think that, oh, we'll bring in these people to vote for us, that they won't live in our communities. They'll, stay at the bottom and all that kind of stuff. But it's not going to be that easy. If Hillary was president, that would be 2 million. Yeah, I mean, they would say, look, these people need our help. Are you against helping people in need? What are you, some like evil, disgusting person? I bet you voted for the loser Trump, right? And yeah, they bring them right in. I mean, if you guys want to hear their mindset, just look at Joe Biden. Watch the clean your room. How is it messy? I mean, look, this is like a corner over here. This is like a corner, so it's like stuff that's stacked, so it's not really messy. I messed with the drawer here because Michelle Elephant was ripping her hair out yesterday, so I like try to fix them, but they're just kind of stuck up. Yeah, but Joe Biden was saying that it was a good thing that whites are going to be in the minority, and he's totally like completely suicidal. He totally wants white people to be in the minority. He wants I think these people have it in their mind that they're just going to live in these gated nice communities, which is what's going on because if you go to these rich areas, you see the same people. But night goys. Oh, sun in is out, guys. Yeah, you see the same kinds of people, but I think they think, oh, we'll come here, they'll give us, we'll put them in the poor areas, they can fight, who cares what goes on down there, they'll vote for us, we'll stay in our communities, every now and then we'll virtue signal to make sure that they don't try to, like, kill us or anything like that, and then we'll be the rulers of the United States. No more playing this political system, no more playing chess, we own the board, right? It's like, there's no need to be fighting with the pawns, let's just get rid of the other side of the board and we're all good. They think they're immune from it. Yeah, they really do. Just look at that. Just look at the meeting between Nancy Pelosi and the DACA people. And the DACA people ended up saying, I think they were saying something along the lines of like, "Hey, you're white, get out of here. This is like our meeting now with our people, and you're not that." And then all of a sudden, do you hear them talking about DACA anymore? Do you hear them supporting it anymore? No, even Trump has hit them on this, and he's like, "Hey, I'm pro DACA. I want to help DACA," because he doesn't really want to help them. Because we saw his tweets from like 2013. We saw his tweets in 2013, and he totally was, he was saying that they're, basically all Democrats. So he understands, but he's just pushing that message to show that the Democrats, he's trying to cause infighting, which is what they do to us all the time. That's why I say, guys, that we have to kind of start pushing the message a little bit, try to start to twist things a little bit. We have to start playing some games. And it kind of sucks that a lot of you guys are just so black-pilled that you're like, oh, we can't play these games. We can't do it. We can't beat the other side. But, who says? Who says? I mean, there's a lot of people that just started realizing what's going on. So, everyone's playing this game, and we just realize that there's a game being played. So, don't get so quick on all that stuff. Lips are getting dry. Yeah, but the David Hogg thing, that was just very blackpilling. Very blackpilling. Not really what he did. I'm expecting them to use every dirty tactic they can because they want to win. They want to win. That's what they want. Oh, man. I'm going to wait for that one to get played. I'm not going to say that or anything. You guys are crazy. But it's just blackpilling how the left is willing to do everything they can to win. But then the right is so cucked by their own principles that they aren't willing to do the same. And if you think that fighting hand to hand and another guy is fighting with a knife is a good thing, then,
David, why do people hate Jews?
Buzzy181, thank you for the 10. Why do they hate Jews? Well, from what I've taken from my from everything I've seen politically, from online to just on the internet, things like that. It's basically, from what I've heard from like Jordan Peterson, basically everyone has admitted, after all the debates, everyone has admitted that Jewish people are in positions of power. They're in Hollywood, they're in the media, they're in, maybe academia, I don't know. But basically they're saying that they're all, like, they control the media at least. Even Laura Loomer has came out and said that this is true. There's other Jews that are saying this is true, like Matt Semite on Twitter. Frame Games Radio, who's Jewish, also admits this. And so what they're saying is, Jordan Peterson would say, look, that's true, but it's not, there's no conspiracy. It's just because they have high IQs, and people with high IQs tend to get in positions of power, and they tend to make a lot of wealth. So it only makes sense. It's organic. There's no problem. And then, and so the debate isn't like, do they control things? It's whether it's organic or if it's tribal. And so from what I've heard, Jordan Peterson and the Civic Nationalist people think it's completely organic, and then the alt-right believe it's tribal. What I would say is, if there's only 2% of the population in the United States of Jewish people, and then you look at the media and they're basically a lot of Jews, like Paul Nealon showed that picture, and no one discounted. No one said that wasn't true. They just said he was anti-Semitic for saying it. I care about whether it's true. If they say yes, it's true, and then an explanation, then that's fine. Ben Shapiro and all these people, they just say it's anti-Semitic. They haven't said anything. They haven't tried to debate. The only person that has Jordan Peterson, and his only thing is high IQ. But I do think it is kind of weird that if they're only 2% of the population, and then there's so many in there, so many. And who's right behind, who's actually has very high IQs are East Asian people. And I don't really see many East Asian people in Hollywood or in the media, or, I mean, some in academia, but not that many. And so it just kind of like makes me think. It's like, well, why is there so many Jewish people, but there's really, if it's a high IQ thing, there should be a lot of East Asians in there too. Should be a lot of East Asians. I don't know like everything, but from what I've seen, there seems to be a very overrepresentation. I do know that just goes with everything though. a lot of groups are tribal. Like if you ever go down to any like the TSA or usually any time a government thing tends to have a lot of black people. If certain sports like hockey tends to have a lot of like Europeans. Could be kind of a race realist thing. Um, I'm not really sure. I'm not the expert on it. These are just the things I've heard on the debates and on Twitter and things like that. But it comes down to basically everyone has admitted it's true. But it comes down to, is it conspiracy, or is it or is it just like is it a organic or tribal thing? I don't know. Like Rosef is saying, I'm not the expert. I don't know everything. I'm just kind of throwing out what I've heard, and then I try to use my common sense to kind of come up with something. I'm gonna microwave myself some white Castle sliders. Awesome. I hope you've subbed. Robert Beezer, you're a racist, uneducated idiot. Thank you. That's one way to compliment me. Everyone say hello to Robert. Oh man, there's so much I was talking about. It's kind of interesting that we were talking about the Department of Education. But yeah, I mean, if you want to end certain things, you just have to be like, if you want to end sexual assault and rape, I mean, the best way to do it is just protect women, Remember how back in the day, in the fables and in the myths and in the legends, they used to have women and they would lock them up in towers, so that no one could rape them or any of those things. I don't see Robert's comments. Really? Huh. He was saying some stuff. It's weird. I saw it on the screen. But yeah, I mean, they used to protect women by putting them up in towers, They used to keep them in kingdoms with borders and moats and creatures. And that's weird. Why did I see that and you guys didn't then? Let me check. That's weird. Streamlabs, they need to fix it. I think Streamlabs is a new thing, so I'll give them some flexibility, but it really sucks. I mean, look at the viewers. That doesn't work. And then J22 is still the only one on the board. Thank you, J22. And then this hasn't updated either, so that sucks. Yeah, that's weird. Doesn't show that the Robert guy was talking. I saw it on here, though. I swear. I swears. Someone has to go over it after we're done here. Yeah, it's so funny. You look at these March for Lives people, and they march, and then you talk to them. I saw videos of people talking to them. I wish I could have went. But it was my birthday that day, so I'm just like, maybe I should have went. It was my birthday and all that, but it was a big day. LA for Trump was down there. My buddy Hareem, my buddy Arthur, some other people down there, some new faces, some young faces, which is great. It's great to see some young faces. We need some young people. We really do. We need anyone we can, and we have to really go out and do things. And the older people, you have to fund the younger people because we're willing to fight. You just got to help us out. David, there's a difference between live chat and 2chat. It's fine. 2chat. Happy 16th birthday, bro. Yeah, when my hair grows out and I wear my high school clothes, I've had girls say, "Hey, like I remember years ago when I was single, couple years ago." So I was waiting. I think my mom was buying a cell phone, and I was outside, and this girl was walking by. And she looked pretty cute. So I went up to her and I said, "Oh, hi." I basically hit on her. And then she was totally kind of into it and all that, but she asked my age. She thought I was in high school, and I don't know. Nowadays, women tend to like that kind of stuff, right? I mean, you look in. I have at least 20 stories, and not even a year, of people of just these usually hot teachers just slobbering all over these teenager boys. I don't know what it is. I really don't. Nice. Yeah, I know it's weird stuff. It's weird stuff, but yeah, she was a little weird, but I had some fun. Ah, my single days. Oh, we used to have so much fun, guys. The numbers were high, but at the same time, I gotta tell you, like, the women's, there's a lot of bad ones. There's a lot of weird people out there. So maybe it's California. I don't know. I know I talked to you guys a lot about the trad stuff. And I had to say, in California, there's no trad stuff. And, and if I saw some Bible thumpers the other day, and they were trying to debate these like atheist liberal pieces of garbage. And I saw why the right wing trad people lost, decades ago. I saw how they lost. Used to have so much fun. Oof, Emily getting negged. No, just like a different kind of fun. You know what I mean? There's different kinds of fun. Like you can have a different kind of fun when you're playing a game compared to different kind of fun when you go, you go on a roller coaster. They're different kinds of fun. I don't have those fun anymore. I have a different kind of fun. It's like hanging out with a buddy, with a partner of mine. We get to we understand each other very well. We got into this movement at the same exact time. We've seen everything because we go together like everywhere. So it's a different kind of fun. And trust me, the girls in Cali, they're not they're weird. They're weird, very weird. Not in a good way either. Not in a kinky way. It's more of on the like they'll. If you say something they don't like or something, they'll just ghost you. They won't reply back. That kind of stuff. Oh, yeah, not good stuff. But come to New England and see our broads. How are they? How's New England? What are the demographics there? You guys love talking about demographics. Let's talk about it. Coastal women and urban bites are disgusting. Are we talking about physically disgusting or mentally? Because I'm talking about mentally mainly. Like they're just weirdos, you can't really talk to them, and I think that's the internet right there. That's social media. I was watching this TED talk on the destructiveness of social media, and it's basically people want the best of everything, but they don't want the downsides. Pretty white, especially here in New Hampshire. Covered in tats and green hair, solid females, bro. All right, well, it sounds like fun to me. Sounds like there's a lot of lot to see, a lot of scenery. Sounds like there's a lot to see out there. Might be somewhere I could travel to. I think the laptop is getting close to dying. We just hit 10 o'clock here. I'm back. William Montberg, what's up? I did not call you, my nibba. I did not call you, but welcome. Welcome to everyone in here. But let's get back to the March for Lives again, because these people are marching for absolutely nothing. They have no message. You can agree with women's suffrage or disagree. You could disagree or agree with civil rights, but at least these people had a message and they had something that they wanted. It was a clear thing, right? They said, we want the same rights as everybody else, with basically both. And they had reasons and they had all this stuff. And nowadays, there's school shootings, and then you look at all the deaths that people die from, like heart disease, getting hit by cars, gun violence, handgun violence, all that stuff. And then school shootings is like way at the bottom. So we're talking about these things, right? People are freaking out. Obviously, I don't want school shootings either. If you really want to get rid of them, though, you get rid of the schools, right? You want to have your kid be taught by some stranger who's surrounded by strangers who are all on drugs, and you're surprised that one kid just flipped his shit and started like shooting everybody, especially when he gets bullied. He's getting bullied. And you're surprised that he's going to be shooting people in the age of like hate is good. Bullies is good. That's the age we live in. And that's what the left has created. And they're surprised people are flipping their shit. You know, look at all the garbage in the food. Look what all of the pollution in the air. Look at all the shit in the water. Look at all the kids are depressed and taking medications. Um, it's just everyone's all screwed up in the head. And then they're getting hit with advertisements and propaganda also on top of it to make them hate themselves. And you're surprised that people are acting crazy. Absolutely. You have ADHD, here's some drugs. Oh, you have ADD or whatever, here's some drugs. Oh, you feel sad? Oh, you mean depressed? I think you have PTSD, here's a drug. It's changing your brain, right? And then all the kids are sitting there and they feel bad, so they sit there and that changes your brain too. And these are all kids. Their brains are still developing. They're probably even smoking drugs. And I have no problem with it. But the thing is, it's bad. Studies show it's bad for developing brains. And your brain doesn't fully develop till like 24. So if you're not an adult and you're doing all these things that's changing your brain and it's not even fully developed yet and you're surprised that you're acting a little mentally ill, it's probably because you're doing a lot of bad things. Not only that, but studies show that if you only have like one parent, or if your mom tends to be working all the time, that causes mental illness too. If you're a leftist, that causes mental illness too, and that's very rampant. So there's all these things that's just making someone like cancerous, And then of course most people are eating processed foods that is literally linked to cancer. They're doing all these terrible things for themselves, and they're surprised that every now and then someone goes crazy and they start shooting a place up. It is really beyond me, honestly. But somehow it's not all of those things I just brought up. Somehow it's the gun. It's the inanimate object, right? We fearmonger, right? That's the people on the right. We're the one fear-mongering. No way that the people that have never even held a gun in their whole life, no way that they're not the ones fear-mongering. No way. No way. Fear-mongering, be scared of guns, right? There's a guy who walked up with an AR-15 to a rally, and there was a woman just going fucking crazy because she's just been brainwashed into hating guns. She's brainwashed into hating an inanimate object, guys. It's just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy, to say that we need to get rid of guns. These people, man. And they say, oh, well, a small minority of people get killed every single year. And look, that's not good, but getting rid of guns isn't going to fix it. That's only going to create more people. That's going to increase crime. That's going to increase the chances of someone taking over. Last time I checked, the communists killed millions of people. Millions of people outdoes whatever school shootings does. If you want to get rid of the school shooting stuff, take the kids out of the schools. Yeah, you hear of school shootings, but do you hear of like house shootings? Do you hear about that? You hear about people shooting people's houses up? No, you don't. So keep your kid in your house. That's how you protect people. Keep your woman in your house. If she's getting sexually assaulted at work, if she's getting raped and all that stuff, it's because she's wandering out. I mean, in the past they knew these things. That's why they had kingdoms where they could protect everybody. The woman stayed at home was to protect them. People have kind of lost their way. And now they think, oh yeah, women can do all these things, and now they're just wandering around like dudes, but they're not dudes. That's the thing. And when men see them, they say, "Let's go say what's up," sort of thing. Hopefully, it's a good guy saying that, not a bad one. But if you want to get rid of rape and sexual assault, don't leave the house. If you don't want to get your kids shot up, filled with bullets, filled with lead, without taking supplements, get them out of the schools. Protect your kids, And then a lot of them will say, "Oh, well, we have to work. We have this and that." Yeah, fuck you. You don't give a shit. Yeah, you see all these girls talk about like 1 in 3 women will be raped when they go to college. Oh man. Like, okay, look, if that was actually true and you actually believe that shit, why would you go to college then? Why? I mean, you don't go to bad areas because you think you'll get mugged or shot or something, right? I can't call my girlfriend every day. It's like if you really think that you're going to get raped if you go there, you don't fight that area and try to turn it into a good area. You just don't go there. That's just how it goes. But there's a reason why people don't travel to bad areas. All these people that are like, oh, we have to do this and that. Oh, yeah. Oh, come on. Are you going to go to bad areas? No, you won't. But you're going to fight this one. Just don't go to college then. If you really think something bad is going to happen, you just don't go to that area. I don't understand it. And to all these other people that are calling like the United States racist all the time, and it's white privilege, and the cops are murdering everybody and all this. Look. If you actually believed your own bullshit, you wouldn't be living in America. If you really thought that the KKK was in charge of America, you wouldn't be here. End of story. There's a reason why there's refugees in the Middle East trying to escape and are running to wherever they can. There's a reason why people in Mexico are trying to escape Mexico. It's because it's dangerous and they don't want to die and they don't want their kids to die. That's why they're trying to escape it, right? That's the whole reasoning behind it. Nothing crazy. They're trying to leave it because they know it's dangerous. But then you're saying that America is dangerous, but then you're not behaving like it's dangerous. You're just using any little thing you can to try to get power. Is basically what you're doing. It's what the David Hogg thing is. It's every single like black shooting. That's entirely what it is. It's just people trying to use the situation to gain power for their own self-interest. And it's kind of sad that people aren't smart enough to see that. Like this David Hogg kid, complete opportunist. I've gotten really good at detecting them too. So a lot of them on the right that I've been against, and he's the ultimate one. Ultimate. Like this kid's, but he's a dumb one. He's a low IQ one. So his story is all over the place. It's 1 minute he was at the school, the next minute he's not at the school. He's riding his bike. You know, his sister had 4 of her friends killed, and then 3, and then 2, and then back to 4 again. You know, this kid goes to a school to get interviews and stuff. Really, you know, if you really want to save the day, shouldn't you have grabbed your dad's shotgun and went over there and then actually save the day? You want to go there and get interviews? That doesn't really. How's that gonna help anything? We're always on the defensive about the narratives. Yeah, it's because the right-wing people don't have any means to fight. They don't have the means to fight because they want to be, you know, they don't want to go low. They always want to care about their principles, and they always want to be, you know, they want to feel good about themselves. Both sides want to feel good about themselves. People on the left, they feel good about themselves by doing everything they can to win. People on the right feel good about themselves when they feel morally superior in a situation. So, you know, they'll feel really bad, like in that situation where that Asian guy was going to try to burn up the Mexican flag. You see, all the right-wing people would feel bad if they did that. So that's why they're virtue signaling to not do that. But people on the left would feel good about that because they want to win. That's what makes them feel good, is when they feel like they're doing everything they can to win. But people on the right, it's all about, like, they love playing victims. Like all the people do on the right is cry, whine. And look, I get it. So if you get kicked off Twitter, you should say something. But there comes a time when it's like, all right, look, we've had most of our people kicked off Twitter. Most of our people kicked off these sites. We have to come up with a solution at this point. Like, if we cry, like, look, I get the beginning, but at some point we have to say, like, all right, let's all move to this one place. We all move there. And then no more Twitter or something like that, right? Then we need to push from all the big heads. We need to collectively come together and say, look, we're all going to Gab. Get off Twitter. We're going to kill it. And then Trump leaves Twitter. Everyone goes, Trump goes to Gab. Everyone goes to Gab. Twitter's basically done. It's destroyed. And just like that, we just collectivized and we just destroyed Twitter. They're just basically gone. But people care too much about having fun and trolling and, you know, being individuals. That'll be the death of us. The individual mindset is literally the death of us, because, you know, you can't have one person fight against many. You know, just look at the whole liberalist thing. It's a joke, because if you're a group of individuals, how are you? And you say, look, we're gonna march, yay! And then because you're all individuals and you all have different ways you want to march, which is your political mindset. Billy goes that way, Jeff goes that way, Kyle goes that way, and I go this way. And by the time the march is over, next thing you know, I'm by myself. And I have to fight against the whole group that all went the same way. So, you don't have to collectivize on every single point. Trust me, the left doesn't collectivize on every single point either. Like you see the gay pride parades, and the black communities were fighting over some stuff, and obviously the Hispanic communities and the black communities do not get along. These people don't get along either. But they have core things that they can collectivize on, core ideas and things that they can push. And every now and then, a different group will get a cookie, right? But on the right, we can't do that, right? We can't pull out a knife when the other side pulls out a knife. When they go low, we can't go low because that's mean. It goes against our principles. We can't do that. We just got to sit there and try to fight hand to hand while they fight with a knife. They go low, they cheat, they lie. We can't do that. That would go against our principles, right? That'd be bad, right? And then you wonder, we keep, if we're lucky, we get Trump another 4 years, and then after that, good fucking luck. Because who do we got after that? I mean, Ted Cruz is gonna save the day? Even he can't. Even those guys can't get Mitch McConnell or Paul Ryan on board. Vornado, Gab is an echo chamber. Yeah, but you know what? This political thing, it's about something, right? There's a point to this movement. It's not just about having fun and trolling. It should be about actually getting things done. But you see, the thing is, it's an echo chamber. AKA, that means it's not fun. I would think that this is a little bit more, it's a little bit more important than that. White guy, I don't know. I mean, if Arthur actually has all that, that'd be pretty surprising. I mean, be very surprising. But I don't know. I can't really say. I've never really seen Arthur take his shirt off. I've never really seen him flex before, So I can't really say for sure. I would have to say it's most likely fake news, though. But yeah, a lot of good stuff coming. I really, there's some people that want to come on. I can do like a little interview show kind of stuff, have some people on, have some fun. I really want to see if I can connect the Discord on here. Or maybe I could just invite people on Google Hangouts, but of course, I think that should be a little bit more professional though. I'm sure I heard it on the internet. I mean, it's kind of surprising, but the internet isn't always right. There's some stuff on there. I got a pop up. When I was watching some stuff earlier, and it said I won millions of dollars. It's very up in the air. It could have been my moment of truth, but I decided to click off of it. Brosup, you guys are funny. I think you guys should go on Arthur's live streams and maybe talk to him about it. If there's some truth in these matters, I think he should be one of the first people to hear about it. Base Pennsylvania knows what's up. Yeah. If now he said it, it must be true. I do have to say though, at the Lauren Southern event, he was pretty spot on about Big Alaska's boyfriend. I tell you, he was pretty spot on him. Now he's like 99.999% most of the time wrong. But on that one time, there was, he was actually right. Who are you going to bring on? There's a lot of people I could bring on. I know we had a buddy, Bruno. He was usually in the comments, and he said he wanted to come on. I don't know if he wants to be full on IRL, put his face out there kind of stuff, but he's welcome on. Also, we had the Crypto Report said he wanted to come on, so maybe we could talk about some ideas. Bring Zeus on to bully you. I would love to. I mean, we can get on voice chat after the show. And yeah, if he wants to come on, we could talk, mano a mano, voice to voice, tongue to tongue. But I have a feeling that he wouldn't really be into that sort of thing. I need to start working the biceps a little bit more. That's why I was late, guys. I was hitting my gym here. Got some stuff going on. Got the pull-up bar. Gotta have it. Gotta have it. Gotta have the pull-up bar. Tongue to tongue. Yes, that is right, Broseph. That's how we make noises. I'm willing to have anybody on. Like if there wants to be some communists on here, some Antifa on here, some moderate, some JFK Democrats, some, just anybody. I'll have them on. We could, but I don't want to have like a one-on-one conversation sort of thing most of the time. I feel like that gets a lot awkward and boring. So I'd like to see if maybe I could have like sort of a co-host sort of thing. It wouldn't be like a debate or anything like that. I see, I'm totally fine with getting into debates. I like that stuff. But if I bring people on, I don't know if it would be an interview, but I think I would be fine with like a conversation. I really like Joe Rogan's show. David prefers threesomes. Hey, not against it. So I just need to find someone else that would be inclined to want to come on and help me out, because if it's just me and someone else, I guess I would have to make sure I have a lot of questions written down, because sometimes something doesn't just pop up in your head. I want it to be somewhat professional, but I like what Joe Rogan does. It's a conversation. Everyone's laid back. They bring on cool guests. They hear a lot of things. I've watched the show for years now. I always thought it was a cool idea, and it's actually interesting that there's no Robert Beezer talking shit again. Can you guys see him? He's always talking shit, whoever this guy is. Always talking shit. I bet you guys can't see it for some reason. I wonder why that is. Talking shit again. Let's see. Let's see if he's in here. Nope, not in here. That's weird. That's really weird that he's talking shit, but he's not in here. What's up, Papa Chan? Hey, Robert. Fuck you. You're a fucking faggot. Get in the chat. Stop trying to... I don't know how you're doing what you're doing, but get in the chat. Trying to hide from my people is why. You'll get roasted. You'll know it. Top chat filters him out, but live chat you can see his post. I'm kind of a boomer when it comes to technology, so I didn't understand what you just said, but I can understand that you guys can't see him. I can understand that much, but it's too bad. I'm sure you guys would like to talk to him, He's talking shit about your Führer. Talking smack against your emperor, your king, the white elephant's main man. And I know you guys want to defend me. You guys, we can see him. Then jump on him, right? Stop being such a Jordan Peterson individual and get in there. David is Boomer Tech, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But I think I've done pretty well. Put some cool stuff on. Like if you watch the first show and then you watch now, it's a whole different thing. Corey Schuler, that's hilarious. Hey, if you're new, please sub. We're trying to get more people in here. David versus Nick Fuentes, Boomer Tech debate. I have a feeling he'd probably beat me in that because I hate technology. Absolutely. I wouldn't mind living in a Game of Thrones world where I could just let my sword do the talking. Don't really like it, It's like technology has personalities. It just works when it feels like it, Either that or maybe it's the gods messing with it. Who knows? I just, everyone has strengths and weaknesses. I have a low IQ when it comes to technology. Shoot me. Nah, white guy is my homie. White guy is everybody's homie. He's one of my favorite people, that's for sure. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so there's a lot of cool stuff. Press 1 now that you guys are here. I don't have the community stuff because I don't have 10K subs. You know, if you guys keep sharing it, you guys keep telling fellow nibbas out there. Hopefully, we can get to 10K and then I can start doing some community posts. I think you need to whisper. Your mom might wake up. Just so you know, everyone in California is living with their parents. You know, so or their parents are just paying for their place, like a certain somebody with a camouflage hat. But yeah, everyone's in that situation, which is funny because it used to be an insult, but nowadays it's just like you can't use it because everyone's in the same situation because it's high taxes, high regulations. It completely destroyed the housing, you know, business or whatever have you. And so now you have like 100,000 houses being built when it really needs to be way higher than that. And so then you look at supply and demand, and then the demand is high, supply is low. Therefore, the prices on things increases to astronomical levels. That's why there's a house that's like worth $1 million, and it's like a couple blocks from the projects. It's a couple blocks from the projects. No one's gonna buy that. So everything costs way a lot, and you know, and it's kind of ridiculous too if you think about it. Yeah, Broseph, I'm totally, yeah, that's true. The boomers had it probably better than any other generation. And what did they do? Who would have guessed? The people that had it the best actually destroyed everything. That's what they do because they don't know anything better, anything worse. You know, like the original Romans obviously had it way worse than the Romans in the final days. And yet they actually were able to build everything and get it going because people that are put in bad situations have the tenacity and the ambition to get out of it. Whereas people in good situations are lazy and they don't really have any ambition because why would they? Because everything's already good. They have everything at their feet. They don't know life any other way. They don't know, you know. So then that's why everything costs so much in California. That's why housing is so terrible. That's why you get into like a studio, which is literally like just this room, and it costs like $1,200. It's because of high taxes and regulations on the houses that are made. That you have to make it this. You have to. Oh, it has to be like this. Has to be like that. It's like running in a race, and you have to jump over all of these obstacles, and the other person really, you know, doesn't. So it makes everything slower and worse. I mean, you have to have some regulations because if you look at America during the times before what was it, Thomas, I forget, but there was a president and he had to create regulations, and it caused, you know, give an inch take a mile kind of thing, obviously. But you kind of had it because, you know, people go down in these jobs and they get hurt and they're just like, all right, you're fired, bye, you can't tell my business what to do. And why would you go outside when you ruin the world? Yeah, I mean, they just go up to most people and ask them how was the immigration during the founding, and then how is it today? Uh, and I guarantee you, maybe that should be a topic on the show. There's a lot of stuff I can do on the IRL topic show. A lot of stuff I can ask. I'm not really sure what I should ask next week. We can do flat Earth. We can do the gay frogs. There's so many things we could ask. Jake Robbins. Been to Vancouver and it was full of Chinese. Interesting. The Chinese are buying out everybody, guys. You guys can talk about whoever you want, but at the end of the day, the Chinese are going to win this, right? This is a civilization game, and at the end of it, the winners are going to be the Chinese. And because they're the biggest, they're the strongest, they're the most united. They got it. It's going to be check and mate. That's going to be it. It's not going to be United States, you know. It's not going to be Europe, that's for sure. These are world powers that lost their way. They forgot why they had borders up in the first place, you know. Nothing like creating values and then forgetting why you had those values there in the first place. And then you say, oh, well, these values are bad because our ancestors are bad, because they acted mean. Therefore, let's get rid of everything. And then next thing you know, you're like, let's open the borders because we don't want to be mean. And then all the people outside are like, these people are fucking weak fools. And they come in and they take everything and they outbreed you and you don't exist anymore. And that's kind of the situation. Smoke another one, kid. Yeah, I haven't smoked anything, my dude. Very trad, huh? Just drinking prebiotic drinks. I got my sparkling waters. And what are some other things I like drinking? Western Guilt, destroying the West. And I wouldn't even say Western Guilt. It's just full-on retardation. I mean, think about it. Think about the kind of tunnel vision you have. That okay, so let's say we're going to talk about racism, right? And racism is linked to slavery. And slavery was done by white people 200 years ago, right? So we're going to focus on the United States and slavery and only go back 200 years. So we're only going to go back 200 years and we're only going to talk about the United States. We're not going to talk about anywhere else, right? Or we're not going to talk about any sort of other time in history or anywhere else. We're just, here's the tunnel vision that liberals have on slavery. Just the United States, only white people, and only 200 years ago. That's it. That's all they focus on. So because if you only talk about the United States, well, Native Americans, they were enslaving other tribes too. Right? Because you get into a war with someone and you say, okay, we defeated you. So, do we just kill all you guys and take your shit? Or, you know what? Like, I don't really want to do all the agricultural stuff. It's very tough. Let me ask you, do you want to be my slave or not? And if you say no, then I have to kill you. And then they say, oh yeah, we'll be slaves. So, I'll do free labor for you. That's what slavery is, right? Everyone gets into a war. And instead of killing everyone, you just enslave them because you don't want to do all the work because our ancestors had to do a lot of agricultural work, right? For most of human history, the majority of people were all just farmers. And who wants to go out and farm all day when you can just get some other person that would usually be dead to do it for you? And that's what it is. You had the Native Americans enslaving other tribes. You had Africans enslaving other tribes. You had Europeans doing this. You had the Muslims were doing this for thousands of years. Like, what was the Persian Empire? What was the Ottoman Empire? The Ottomans didn't get rid of slavery until like the 19th century at some point, and that was because the UN forced them to. And then what they do, they made sure that there was no one outbreeding them or anything like that. So they actually castrated everybody. So you don't really see any major issues there. Nice shirt. Did they make any for men? Oh, so I'm a woman? I'm a pretty little girl? No. This is a red shirt. Yeah, so it's just interesting. Like, if you just focus on United States, not just hundreds of years ago, Native Americans were enslaving people. Whites did it, but it was normal to them because everyone else was doing it. Everyone did throughout human history. That's why it's like when you people are spurging about slavery, it just shows you that they're just fucking ignorant. They don't like. Have you looked at any other country? Like currently there's still slavery in a lot of places in the world today, right? They talk about hundreds of years ago about some dead people that did it. It's like, how about you focus today? And if you're not going to focus today, how about you look at the rest of human history? Why are you only focusing on 200 years ago and only white people doing it? Why don't you focus on like the Chinese? They had dynasties worth of it. Who built the Great Wall of China? Who built the Great Wall of China? Who built it really? And also, to the slaves that built it, what happened to them? Because they were basically worked to death, and then they threw them inside the fucking wall. So you have dead slaves inside the Great Wall of China. So you have all these tourists going, "Oh, look at the wall, the Great Wall." Okay, but that's all like dead slave bodies all across that. So in case you hear any ghosts talking in your ear, yeah, or let's talk about the Barbary slave trade, right? If we're going to talk about slavery on just a racial level, let's talk about the Barbary slave trade. You had millions of Mediterranean people that were kidnapped, their cities sacked and attacked, and people were raped and murdered, and enslaved, and then kidnapped and taken to parts of Africa taken by African Muslims. And this was happening for a very long time. There was millions of Mediterraneans or white people that were kidnapped, who were raped and killed and enslaved and taken there. It wasn't until basically all of Europe basically fought them off and had to kill all the pirates that were doing this. No one likes to talk about that though, huh? It kind of hurts the agenda a little bit. Bro, so if you hook onto anyone being a dick, Jake is probably Zeus. Yeah, that would kind of suck. I want if you guys are gonna have some haters in here, at least have new haters. Let's get some more viewers in here. You could thank the United States for ending the Barbary Pirates. Yep, we took them out by force. Who says force doesn't work, huh? It's clear why this is part of history is ignored and why the African slave trade is happening today. Yep, Muslims still have, they're literally like, from what I've heard, they're like enslaving the Africans, and then they're also cutting out their organs, and there's a black market for that, of course. Yeah, so you just see a lot of you just see that anytime someone talks about slavery, I talk about the Barbary slave trade. You got to fight fire with fire, and yeah, they could say, oh well, the Atlantic slave trade was way larger than Barbary slave trade, and it's like, who cares like how big it was? People talk about the Holocaust constantly, right? 6 million people dead. Why aren't we talking about Stalin killing 30 million people? And that's more recent. That's more people, right? More people. So we should talk about the communists more, right? Why are we talking about the Holocaust constantly? Why don't we talk about the millions of people that the communists killed, right? Mao killed like 100 million people, right? Starved them to death. They didn't take a bullet. I think in some ways, even a gas chamber would probably be better than being starved to death. 100 million people that communism's killed. 30 million by Stalin. 70 million by Mao. And, and that's more recent, right? Stalin killed those 30 million people, way more recent. And it was way more people. So if we're talking about amounts, why aren't we talking about that? Doesn't really fit the agenda. Man, you guys are getting into it, huh? You guys are getting into it today. You guys are throwing some hooks, throwing some uppercuts. I might just sit back. Should I just put on the BRB screen, grab some, popcorn, come back, sit back and chill? Yeah. So I mean, I don't really know what the arguments here. The real blood sports are in the chat. Yeah, keep going. You guys will make my job easy. I don't know the most on slavery, but from what I've heard, it was something like only 3% of Americans actually own slaves. I don't know if that's true or what that is. You see, this is why I was defending the whole women stuff in the Discord, because like a lot of the women shit, it just gets like, it goes over the board. It turns into like leftist hate basically. And it turns way too much. Like I was saying, people were getting mad at Lauren Southern for like the whole race mixing shit, but I don't see people getting mad at like, let's say, Baked for the same shit, or Heimbach. It's not the same amount. It's a whole different kind of hate, and I think it comes from the whole idea of being angry that you're not getting any. And I think that's where the anger comes from, because otherwise it would be basically the same kind of anger. I just don't see it, Maybe we can talk about this stuff, but I don't really see the anger being the same, Yeah, he does, Devon. I had to say that's true. I don't need to go on Worski. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Guys get much more hate than the women. I completely disagree, bro. So I'm not trying to white knight. I'm just trying to be real. I'm trying to show you guys, like, I'm just saying what I'm seeing. And I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I'm not treating anyone better than anybody else. I'm not seeing the hate. I'm not seeing the hate for these guys. People make fun of him. Uh, Michelle Elephant, he still comes back. He has no choice. He has to pay the bills. He said that on the live stream. He's in it for the money. So he can't just go away. Where's it gonna go away to? Like, I've talked to him. He doesn't have any alternatives. He's literally, this is the hill he's gonna die on. He can't go anywhere else. His name and his face is too far out there. It got to the point where like people were noticing him when he was driving. Sean Perry. No, that's not true because entertainers don't go and give speeches at political events. I wouldn't say he's just an entertainer, like, because he was very pro-Trump. I don't think there was any jokes there. He went to a few political rallies and he was giving speeches. That's not necessarily what entertainers or comedians or whatever he claims to be this time that do. You know, he tried to be an actual political like leader, and then it got scary, and then he had to run. I think he'll be successfully trying to get content. No, I don't think so. It's you know, opportunists and people that are doing it for the wrong reasons always get called out. Even in this new circle he's in, he's already getting called out by the people, by the Worskis, by the JFs. You know, these people are high IQ'd people. They can smell a scumbag, especially after the whole Kraut and T situation of people being scumbags and that Jeff Holiday guy being a scumbag. You know, this is all very recent. This is all very recent. So they can kind of see all this coming. Not much talent. I don't know what the talent is. Worski isn't high IQ'd. No, he's not. He's very low IQ'd. Brosa, if we're going to move off that topic, we're going to talk about funner stuff. I want to talk about the drama that's going on. And that's why I said he's an entertainer. He's an actor. Yeah, Sean Perry, totally agree. You get it. Because you can't, like, he's tried to rebrand himself so many times. It's not even one or two like normal people. It's like 4 to 6 times. Chris 1388, Mel Gibson, awesome. What's up? Sub if you haven't. I'm trying to reach 10,000. But I would say on that question, and I'm going to jump back to what we were talking about because I want to get into the drama, is I don't think anyone should look. The left doesn't disavow anybody. They don't disavow anybody. And like, these people can go around and say they want to kill all white people. No, you don't hear anyone disavowing them. They don't disavow anybody, so I'm not going to disavow anyone on the right either. As long as people on the right, as long as they don't fucking punch me in the face or try to stab me or try to throw acid in my face, I don't really give a shit. I'm not saying like I'm like best friends with these people or any of that, but I'm not going to disavow anybody after all the shit, all the disgusting things that the left's into. I'm not disavowing anybody. Wait, tag directly. Sorry guys, it's very difficult to try to read you guys' stuff and it expires and at the same time try to answer questions. So if you want me to answer your question and I don't get to it, just spam it basically. Yeah, but I can't tell you what to do, but I don't disavow anyone. I don't think anyone should disavow anybody. You know, there's people I disagree with and I'll get into arguments with them, but as long as they're like right-wing people and they're real right-wing people, they're not merchants or opportunists or scumbags like that, then hello Hapa-chan. Then
Dude, I can super chat via phone, lol.
Oh wow, really? I had no idea. Thank you for the $1.99, Chris. Thank you so much. That's actually cool. I had no idea that you could do that off your phone. I wonder if that's new or not. Yeah, thank you guys. But every single time you guys do that, I forget where I was. Yeah, I don't disavow anyone. I don't think like there's people like I don't agree with on everything, and only ones I disavow are people that are in it for the wrong reasons, and that's because if these people get into positions of power, that's just creating a new type of swamp. right? That's just creating a new type of enemy, and I don't want that. And these people, I mean, look at Red Pill Black. She was going around doxing people, trying to ruin people's lives, and now she has followers of up to like hundreds of thousands. And if you think that she's just going to change because she has power now, it's going to get worse. She was a nobody and she was trying to destroy people's lives, and now she has actual power and she has influence. And what do you think she's going to do with that? You think she's just all of a sudden changed? No. No, that's why when people are acting fake, when they're acting like scumbags, I'll call them out. And and people and the high IQ people, we can smell scumbags. Um, that's why JF has been very outspoken about Baked, and he can kind of smell that Baked was trying to take his job. He was trying to take it, and because he's an opportunist, he goes from one thing to another thing. It's why when I got into that fight with him, I had to call him the right wing Hillary Clinton, because I just had to. It's exactly true. I know him very well behind closed doors, and I know exactly who these people are. The problem is a lot of people, they don't want to see that. Everyone associated with Milo is like that. Yeah, that's the reason why you look into the civic nationalist people, and a lot of them are very in it for the money, and a lot of them have criminal records and things like that. They're very fake people that are. That's why every single time that I see them in debates, they kind of say, "Hey, look, it's just the ideology you're trying to push for the ethno stuff. It's hard to push." And when they say that, they're basically saying, "Hey, I don't think I could like make as much money doing this." Patricia D. Hello. It's all about the money. It's all about the follower counts. It's all about the fans to them. That's why they're in it. I stopped following Milo when I watched him. Okay, see, guys, I don't think he's a pedophile or any of that stuff. He didn't even say that he was into that. He just said that there's a lot of pedophilia stuff going on in, in positions of power, which we all know. And he said that in the gay community that there's a lot of pedophilia going on. I mean, look at that movie that just came out. It was basically like an older guy and a young boy having a relationship. And this was a movie that got an award. Yeah, No Lives Matter. That's not really trad by that priest, huh? Johnny Gat. Saints Row. He's a cultural libertarian. I just think he should have exposed the priest. Protecting him makes me mad. Sean Perry. So to answer that question, apparently he didn't delete it. I'm in talks with my friend Iwani, who's helping Arthur, and he said that they are targeting him and they're deleting his accounts and his videos. So Iwani was trying to help Arthur back up all the videos. So apparently Iwani told me he wasn't deleting stuff. They were getting deleted. So that's how I'd answer that. Also, yes, there is I saw something that showed like 30% of homosexuals, something like 30% of them are into pedophilia. There's probably an article somewhere I could find. Broseph. Guys are pretty sure you guys are quoting him wrong. Pretty sure. I don't know. I get surprised by people. Yeah, No Lives Matter. That's actually Vincent was telling me that he's seen evidence to show that like 70% of people that get molested actually turn homosexual. And I that's the thing, when people try to talk about that kind of stuff, there's no conclusive data that shows that there's a gay gene or anything like that. And the people that try to say there is, the study is based off, is very small. There's flaws in there. So the science is still out on whether it's a genetic thing or like if it's a natural thing or if it's a nurture thing. I don't really know. Another study came out that said no one's 100% straight. I don't know how. I didn't really look into that one because it looked like propaganda to me. It looked like a Hillary Clinton poll type thing, obviously. Milo's a bug chaser. What the hell? Are we coming up with new words now? Bug chasing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but interesting. Michelle Elephant, very interesting stuff. But yeah, let's get back to the drama. So I always feel like I can talk so much better off camera than I can on camera when it comes to this stuff. I don't know about bug chasing. I don't know about that, guys. Let me ask you guys, if that's true, does that mean like they catch something and then how do they pay for it? Does it come out of their own pocket, or am I having to pay for all that shit to keep them alive? Broseph. Yeah, actually, now that you guys brought it up, I did see that video of Medicare. That was fucking disgusting, but I didn't know the term was bug chasing. It's a small subsection of gays. Oh, okay. So if they catch it, then that means it comes out of tax dollars to keep them alive. If that's don't fake news me here. Like, tell me if it's true or not that I have to pay for them to keep them alive. Like, don't lie though. Like, you guys control me all day, but when it comes to like direct questions like this, you have to answer correctly. Okay. Well, that's fucking something, huh? If it has to do with keeping, um, if this has to do with keeping them alive, there you go. Okay, I don't know if you pay. All right, well, someone find out. Someone Google search right now. Find out if you have to pay, because that's some serious shit. Because that shows you that the left is willing to do whatever it takes to make this country a one party country. They're willing to throw billions of dollars to keep people doing degenerate things alive. And they're willing to open the borders to get in people. They're willing to make illegals legal. And from the IRL Topic Show, you guys saw that a lot of the people, there was a few people I interviewed, and they had people that were illegals in their family. They had illegals in their family. And it was very normal. Like, oh yeah, my cousin was illegal, and then they just they were here for a long time, and then they did whatever, and then now they're legal. Oh yeah, my relative just invaded this country, but because they stayed here for 5 years, it's totally fine. I mean, imagine if we had that rule for serial killers. Imagine if like there was a serial killer going around killing hundreds of people in the span of like a year, but because it took us 20 years to find out he did it, we're like, it's been 20 years. Let him get away with it, It's no longer a crime. Well, technically it's a crime. It's a misdemeanor. It's not a full-on felony, but it's because there's so many. I saw Breitbart. They had a report that showed the high rates of people getting STDs, and I think that's why they decreased it, because they don't want their voters going to jail where they can't vote for them, right? That's the whole point. It's all based off votes. It's all about giving people power. And so when you see people doing weird shit, you have to think about, okay, well, who is this helping? And you're like, oh, well, if people are doing degenerate things, it's most likely a leftist. And so if people are making sure that, like, if they're protecting degenerate behaviors, it most likely will be protecting votes. And that's what it's about. Right? They got to keep their voters alive, got to make sure that, hey, you were doing degenerate things and now you're going to pay the consequences. But you know what? We're going to fork over money from all these people who aren't doing degenerate things, keep them alive. We're going to steal their money, keep you alive so you can vote for us. We want the prisoners to vote for us. We want them to vote because they know who votes. They look at all the stuff we look at on voting statistics, and they're not being stupid. They're not being stupid. Most likely, yeah, a lot of their voters are in jail because the left are very pro-criminal, and now they want them to be able to vote. It's all about getting those votes. It's all about, yeah, the teenagers. They want the teenagers to vote. The teenagers are very dummy stuff. Most young people are very lefty because they like candy, right? You know, that's what it is. If you're a leftist, you like the candy. If you're a right wing person, you like the broccoli. For the most part, the candy will always beat the broccoli. Maybe when you get older, you'll find out that the broccoli is the way to go, not the candy. But that's why they want the criminals, they want the degenerates, they want the kids, they want the illegals, they want, and then on top of that, then you find out they want the women vote because they find out women are more into feelings. So obviously, or AKA, they're easy to manipulate. I like broccoli. Yeah, but most kids like candy, right? They like the Democratic Party says, hey, you don't have to work hard. All you have to do is vote for us, and we'll give you universal basic income. We'll give you free health care. We'll give you all this cool stuff. It's like Halloween. We'll give you free candy. And then the right's like, if you vote for us, we'll make you a strong person, and you can take care of yourself and your family, and you have to work hard, and you could be an independent. And we'll give you all these freedoms. We give you all these freedoms, but you have to go out and do it yourself. And then they're just like, I'd rather have the person that's going to give me the stuff instead of the person that's giving me the opportunity to get it. So. Broseph. Yeah, Rooster, from what I heard, it got taken down. And so, what does he go by on here? Info. Basically, Iwani was helping him save the videos because otherwise all those videos would be deleted forever. That's why we couldn't do an IRL stream today. Jeez, Broseph, you're too much, my dude. This is like the Tim Allen show. Whoever watched the Tim Allen show, where the neighbor was like this the entire time, you never get to see his face. Corey, wow, that sounds crazy. Yeah, well, that's how it is. That's animal behavior, right? You get into something, you take over, and then you do what you want with the people that come in that are your underlings, right? His channel is up. I just went to his channel. Wow.
They call Trump a dictator, yet take guns?
Chris1388 with basically $50. Thank you so much. That's a lot of money there. Thank you. Wow. Everyone, thank you to Chris. Wow, that's a lot of money right there. That's like 5 hours of work right there. Yeah, I mean, to answer your question or your statement, that is funny, right? But no one really believes he's Hitler. People are just using these attacks because it hurts the people on the right, and it brainwashes like the kids and any other people that were in the middle. It's all it is, propaganda. That's why only racist cops should have guns. Yeah, only racist cops should have the guns. Only the criminals and the racist cops should be the only ones with guns, and also the military, who's controlled by a bunch of globalists, should have the guns as well. Only those groups should have guns. Yeah, I mean, if you really think that blacks are being murdered by cops all the time, and your only solution is to disarm, all of the blacks who are being murdered by racist cops, it doesn't seem like a great solution. Or it shows that you're a hypocrite, right? You're not really saying what you actually mean. You guys are so nice though. I don't really ask for donations. Of course, I think it's I put us in situations that'll make it fun to happen, like the IRL stuff. I want to get the speakers, so if I'm doing the topic stuff, you can literally ask a question, and just stuff like that. I mean, imagine. I mean, we only have probably like a solid we usually have an average of like 20 people in here. I mean, just imagine if we had something on the lines of like a few hundred, if not like 1,000. Like, you guys are just way too nice. Like, you guys are like making me want to think about like kind of like what James Allsup's doing, like turn it into like a full-time full-time gig kind of thing. Because my whole idea wasn't to do this forever. My idea was to come out here. I wanted to help Trump. I wanted to help Trump out. I wanted to do some fun with my friends. And then if we won, then I would just kind of go back to trying to get a fun career that I want to do. And I'm still in the process of doing that. But the problem is, the more I get out there, the more difficult it's gonna be to have like a normal life. And so it's kind of in this position of like, what should I choose? Should I like stop going and then go into a normal life, or should I just go full in on this? Right? That's what James also did. He just wanted to do a little side thing, and all of a sudden he has like 200,000 subscribers, and he's like the head of, he's one of the like high ups in like a political organization and all this stuff. Just kind of makes you think, right? But it's a very scary time, for anyone on the right, because I mean, just look what David Hogg did to Laura Ingraham. If they can get someone like her kicked off a right wing conservative place, like you think her people would have her back, but they got rid of her. So if they can get rid of someone like that, just imagine what they can do to like some little people that actually have jobs in places, right? They dox somebody on the right that's working at a bakery or something, then boom, you're fired. Now you can go get another job, but if these people really want to go fuck with you, they can just try to follow you wherever you go. And you have your First Amendment, sure, but if you have your First Amendment, you're living in a box underneath a bridge. That's it seems like there's something wrong with that. I feel like if you have a right, it should be protected entirely. But whatever, We're supposed to be against discrimination, but then you could be for it in other ways, right? It's very back and forth. It's, something is bad or good whenever I feel like it kind of stuff. First Amendment doesn't put tendies on the table. Tendies on the table. Sorry, I did like an Andy Worski little thing right there. Stutter kind of thing. Sorry about that. Oh my gosh, Brosa, you're just having a good time, aren't you? Oh my gosh, white guy. Well, first of all, to answer that, I do want to get a speaker. I bought like a little $5 one. It didn't work. I might have to talk to him to see how to actually do it. But I think I thought that, look, I go to a lot of political protests and things like that. Not all of them, of course. I'm not going to do this at all. There's a time and a place. But I thought it'd be fun. It gives you guys an incentive to donate. It makes it fun. It's not really like it's not like you're just wasting your money. You're going to a rally. Let's say I'm arguing with some like feminist or something, and then you donate like $1 to do Texas speech that says like get back in the kitchen or something like that. Like I think that's a good thing. Like that's not really like, oh, David's a merchant. No, I'm here to have fun. At this point, it's pretty fun. Well, I'm here for the movement. I believe in what I believe, but at the same time, I do believe in having fun doing what you work, right? Whistle while you work kind of thing. Base Pennsylvania, I'm not going to do something crazy like that. I'm sure if you guys want, you guys could probably message Asian Andy and he would be totally down to do that kind of stuff. I'm not doing media, by the way, too, Devin. I'm not doing the media stuff. I'm just going to do Texas speech and also you can say what you want in Texas speech. I'm not going to censor you. I'm not going to walk around with media blowing up like what's it called? Like Moo Man video. Like I'm not listening to Moo Man songs or any of that walking around. I'm not doing that. If you guys want that, that's Asian Andy's content. I'm not stealing his content. I just saw a lot of these guys using the speakers months and months ago, and I thought it'd be fun to add to a political type of thing. So I thought that'd be fun. I also think it's fun. I did it because David has been consistent. All right, thank you, Chris. Yeah, consistency has always been my problem. It's been my problem since school that it was always tough for me to just do the same old over and over again. I think that's the definition of like going mad. Just doing the same thing over and over again with the same result. So I'm not very good at consistency because of that. I think I'm having a good time. I think we could probably go to midnight because if I'm not doing this, I don't really know what I'd be doing because I'm too lazy to set up my Xbox that got torn down. How do you manage to go live, David? I go on OBS and I press start stream and it's connected to YouTube, so it goes through the thing. Guys, we're gonna go to for another hour. I'm having a good time. At the very beginning, it was a little rough because but I think I'll go for another hour. We'll talk about some stuff. I'm going to hit the be right back thing, and I'll be right back in like 5 minutes because I need water. I'm like all out, and I drink this, and I drink this. I don't know why, but when I do these streams, I get super thirsty. I feel like I'm Namor or Aquaman, and I've been out of the water too long. So I'll be right back. All right, all right. I got the water. Why do some of you have a wrench? Because they're mobsters. They're mobs. You can get one too if you donate 100. Look at Broseph. All right, so we're gonna go for another hour here. I had to grab my water so we can keep on chatting. Such good stuff. But yeah, good food today. Oh, you know what I just thought of? I just thought of a great idea. You know what I could do, guys? I thought of Streamlabs has this thing. They have this thing where you can add. You can basically add. What is it? It's this. What is it called? It's this thing you hit and it like goes around. And so I was thinking, in case it's tough for me to find out any subjects to talk about, I could just have something and then I could just hit that maybe. You know what? I won't do that right now. I'll do that a little bit later. But I think that'll be I think that might be something fun to do. Is that activated water? Activated. How do you activate water? No lives matter. Sounds something like I should be doing. Breaking protests after Sacramento. Stephen Clark, video attendee struck by Sheriff's Department's SUV. Whoa. Holy shit. It's turning into a war, huh? Well, we all knew that was going to come. We all knew that was going to come, right? Get a group of people, you get them angry, you tell them a certain someone is the problem, and they're angry, and they don't really respect anything, and they're willing to do anything they want, and you're surprised that things are getting crazy. Not only that, but like when things get crazy, there's other people that get crazy. Because I remember I went to school, and I remember I think it was something going on, illegal immigration or something, and people were going to walk out. I think it was the teachers were going to walk out, and then a bunch of the kids were like, screw that, we're just going to get out of here because there's chaos. Chaos breeds more chaos. So all these kids were like jumping over the fence, and they were all running for it, and they couldn't really, and the teachers and the security and all that couldn't really do anything about it because you got like dozens of kids running for the fence and like jumping over it and running out of there. Can't really do anything about it. So there's a lot of chaos. Whenever there's chaos, it's like anything that's, that's beyond the norm. It just begets more chaos. So I wouldn't be surprised if things are starting to get really crazy. But all of that stuff, even someone getting hit by SUV, it's nothing compared to what's going on in Sweden. We have full-on people throwing grenades at police departments. Like people are running from their police departments to have to move, and like the police are in hiding because they're too afraid. And they can't go after the people that are doing this. They're too cucked. So instead they'll go after the people that are trying to talk about who's doing this because they're not afraid of them. The people, the right-wing people, they're not going to do anything scary or mean. So if they break the law and you're told by some globalists to go put them in jail, then that's easy money, right? Who cares? They're not going to do anything. Think a right-wing person that says Blue Lives Matter all day is going to put up a fight? No, they're not. They're going to just go get thrown in jail. Easy money. But the other people, they're going to put up a fight. They're going to collectivize. They're not going to make it easy. So you don't want to have to go after them unless you really, really have to. How's Emily, by the way? Base Pennsylvania. That's funny. Emily's she's all good. Everything's all good in the neighborhood. Have you ever talked to a Swede who wasn't fucking crazy? Well, I mean, no, the Swedish used to love to brag about how liberal they were, right? They were like, oh, if you can go left, we'll go as left as possible. And this is what happens, The further left you go, the more of a fool you are. And it was the final straw. They had nothing to protect them from what's to come because they're so afraid of being called a racist. So they have no defense against them being taken advantage of and killed and raped and all that. Fuck, I hate what the UK has become. The UK has been they've been a sewer of cucks for years now. They just happen to be put in a situation where they could be taken advantage of. Like, that's all it is. to think that the Vikings turned into that. Yeah, well, you know what I mean. If a group of people have been bred and brainwashed to hate themselves, it's I don't know. This is weird stuff, guys. This is something that's never happened in human history. This is the power of the internet. This is the power of something else. You never could have seen this happen at any other time, but because of the internet and because you get, like, if you think about it, all of Europe and all of America, all of white people around the world are being affected by this. It's not something that, like, it's only happening to the Swedes and we're like sitting back and we're like, oh well, it's a good thing it wasn't us. It's everywhere. There's the Polish, the Russians. There's some areas that they are fighting back against it, but they're all collectivized and they're all getting hit. So I don't really know. I'm just glad I went to the UK before the large invasion. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go there. You have I saw reports of guys driving around on bikes, and they'll throw acid at your face if you don't give them your cell phone or your shit. So then you drive around, they take your shit, and they drive off. The cops said it's like almost impossible to like put these guys in jail because it's like they're on these bikes and stuff. So you've got these guys. I even saw a video of a guy. They're on bikes and one jumps off, runs into a Starbucks, grabs this girl's laptop, jumps on the bike, and then boom, they're gone. And they had reports of these people, since they don't have guns, right? So what do they use as weapons? They use acid. They use knives. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'd rather be shot than have acid thrown at me. That's fucking crazy. Like, David Hogg's like, get rid of the guns. So, like, you want to be hit by acid? Like, I know that little goblin friend of yours, that lesbian, skinhead, communist Cuban, looks like she got hit with some acid, but I don't think anyone else wants to. I don't want to virtue signal that hard. Have cafes where only Muslim men can go into. Yeah, I'm not surprised when you bring in a group of people, especially in mass. They'll find an area, they'll take it over. That's their area now, their rules. Same thing is going on in California. I was at the white privilege seminar, and I was trying to talk to, like, they had very, like, black extremists there. You couldn't talk to them. They were very much into the STAR group, our self-interest. You can't really talk to them. There was one guy, though, who's been kind of moderate, and even he was saying, look, you guys are causing this because this is our area now. And you could say, oh, well, that's not all of them. Yeah, well, who cares? Because the minority controls the majority. The majority doesn't control the minority. It never happens like that. I mean, look at any culture. The minority are always the oppressors. It's never the majority. Like, the majority of people throughout all time and throughout all societies are just people that just want to have a peaceful life and get along, and have a way to survive and make sure that their kids are safe. And then the minority is always the people in charge. You look at the communists. You look at any of these places. It's always like the small minority of people that control the majority. By the way, what's up, one voter? How's it going? If you haven't subbed, please sub. That would be really great. Arthur, white is right, Chopper. Yeah, it's the Cheshire Cat. Hey, I need my water. You guys want me to sit here and yammer? I'm going to need some water. I'm going to need some H2O. Got to get the pinky up when you do it, too. Got to be fancy. Aaron Bevan, what's up? Any plans for Easter? No, I don't do anything. I mean, I think we're gonna have a feast of sorts, kind of thing. But we're not religious in that way. You won't see me at a church or nothing. So we're gonna have a feast, and that's probably about it. I was thinking about doing. Iwani's gonna come on the show next week, and we're gonna do an IRL topic show. I don't know what the topic is yet. If you guys join us in the Discord, we're going to do like a poll on it, and we'll find out what we should talk about. David will probably sleep in. Well, it's the weekends, right? Usually on the weekdays, like, next week I'm gonna have to get up 7 a.m. every morning. So excuse me if I want to wake up, sleep in a little bit. I sacrifice shit posting on Twitter for Lent. Sacrificing things for Lent. What are some things we could sacrifice? What are some things I could sacrifice? I don't know. It's a tough one. I don't know. Every year I usually just sacrifice fish, but I don't really like fish very much, so. Plus, I'm not really like, Catholic or Christian, so. Did you eat meat on Good Friday? Probably. Probably. Good Friday. What was it, Saturday? Friday. I don't know. I think I did. Yeah, I think I did. We need a sponsor. David Beard. Can you grow one? No, Sean Perry, I cannot grow one. I tried, and all it is just some prickly. It just gets prickly. That's it. How many towns have decided not to be sanctuary now? I think just one. Michelle, we had cheeseburgers, instant hell. I had bacon and eggs for breakfast on Good Friday. Yeah, I don't really, I'm not really into that whole stuff. I mean, I used to be Catholic when I was younger, but not really no more. I'm not an atheist either, though, because those guys are fucking, that's like another word for asshole. Those guys are fucking dicks. Those fucking dicks, man. Have to say, I went to the Getty Villa the other day, and seeing the statues of Hercules himself, a statue that was found in the 15th century. I think it came out of Pompeii. I think all of the things came from Pompeii, and the god of strength himself was standing before me. And I just feel like I think I have his blessing. I think I have the blessing of the greatest hero in all of history. The only one who went through his 12 labors and became a god. What a great thing. So many great heroes. Oh, the paganism is so great. They have Achilles. They have, there's so many heroes. Hercules, Achilles, Jason of the Argonauts. You got Theseus, who fought and defeated the Minotaur. You have, what was the one that fought against the Gorgon? Who fought against the Gorgon? You have the story of Aeneas. You have Odysseus. So many great people. So many great stories. You have Hector of Troy. So many great warriors. This kind of culture begetted the Spartans, the strongest people the earth has ever known. The most intelligent people of Athens. You feel the energy too. I don't know, maybe. That was Jason fought the Gorgon, wasn't it? No, that was, they made a bunch of movies about him. No, Jason was with the Argonauts, and, no, it was, it starts with an H. Plus I'm running out of quotes. Was it Odysseus that killed the Medusa? No, it was not Odysseus. It was, They made like 3 movies of him. Had him as the main character, and what was it? They were like garbage movies too. It was I might have to look it up now. This is bothering me. He was kind of gay, like in God of War. Hermes? No, it wasn't Hermes. Let's see. Okay, I'm getting close. Clash of the Titans. Okay, who was the main character in that? What was his name? Here's a picture of him. Oh, Perseus. Okay, there you go. Perseus. That was bothering me. Perseus. Okay. It was Perseus. Yeah, that was bothering me. It really did. Yeah. Homer Simpson. Homer wrote a lot of good stuff. I thought it was Goku that fought the Digimons and used. Oh my gosh! Imagine not finding Roman mythology better than Greek. No, the Greeks, they just stole shit. The Greeks are kind of like it's kind of like baked. They just steal shit all the time. That's it. Like the Romans, it's kind of good because they do take things, but they took good things. Um, Perseus, is it pronounced Perseus? I don't know. How do you guys say it? Perseus? I say Perseus, but that's just me. The Romans were the cultural thieves. Yeah, they stole a lot of shit. So were the Christians, though. Christians were thieves too. I mean, they stole a lot of shit from the Greek religions. Like just look at the flood was stolen. Um, like they got the god Pan and they turned him into Satan. That's why the god Pan has Satan has the horns and the hoofs for feet and all that. It was propaganda to make people not like the god Pan. Yeah, so Christians, they took a lot of stuff. If you look at like all of the stuff that happened, it basically happened in older religions before them. A lot of propaganda. They stole all their culture from the Greeks. Yeah, story of Gilgamesh, Sumerian. Read my comments. I'm funny. Funny how Zeus was the strongest god, and Zeus is not, he's not the strongest person in the Discord. So we gained some action tonight. Are you going to the couch? What the fuck, Patricia? You getting dirty? Getting some women in here? Some women's in here that getting dirty? Holy crap. There's no couch, though. Oh, you guys think I'm at the other place. Okay. No, there's no couch here. There's only like a bed, and it's like half broken, apparently. And the wood is broken. The frame is still good, but the wood... Or I think the frame is broken, but like the thing holding it up is still good, but it's just gonna break. Patricia's kidding, huh? Blade the puppet. What's up, Blade? Tits or get the fuck out, Patricia. I have to agree with that statement, Aaron. Wrong text. Yeah, I have to say, just look at the Greek mythology and its many heroes and its monsters and its trials and its fables. Broken bed. Bragging. No, I don't know. I think I jumped on it one time and it's just like broken on one side now. Like the end of it is just coming down. Holy shit, report of the week got 70k guests on a live stream for an hour ago. What? Gotta have to explain that, my dude. David, show your titties. I don't have titties. I got pecs. You degenerate. Yeah, it was so great stuff. Like the fables, there's no fables in like Christianity or any of that. It's like, what is it? Like, oh, Jesus was like, he stood against immoral things. Broke bed, bros. He stood against immoral things and he got killed for it. I'm more into Nordic gods. Nordic gods are cool too. You got Thor. I think that's how you pronounce it, right? Thor, not necessarily Thor. And you got Odin. You got Loki. You got Thor's sons, which are was it Modi? I think Modi. One of his sons is the god of strength, and the other one is like god of fighting or something like that. There's no fables in Christianity because it actually happened. That's funny stuff. The ice giants. Yeah, they got the ice giants. They got the. Do they have Surtur? Because I got mainly introduced into the Nordic gods mainly through Marvel Comics, and then I looked into the actual mythology itself. So I get them interconnected sometimes on accident. So I don't know if there's actual Surtur. I do know that there's Midgard, which is where we live, and there's like 7 different dimensions. Yeah, Marvel Comics. There's like 7 different dimensions, right? It's like an area where like the dwarfs live, an area where like the elves live, sort of thing. There's all these dimensions where you can go, and it's all on the world tree, right? There's a world tree, and there's like a giant snake. I forget his name, and he's gonna consume it, the world, and Thor is supposed to stop him, and they kill each other in the process of stopping him eating the world. Yeah, a lot of stuff from early Christianity, big surprise, is stolen. A lot of it's stolen. The Great Flood, that was stolen from Greek mythology. Greek mythology. Honestly, probably like 100 years from now, like there's going to be the Christian mythologies of Jesus. If you look at Christianity and it's plummeting, it could be the same thing with Judaism because it's plummeting as well. The only thing on the rise when it comes to religions is Islam, basically. That's the only one that's solid for another 100 years at least. Flood is Old Testament. Yeah, but the Greek religion goes back further than the Old Testament, though. Not only that, but when it comes to Moses, there's a theory that there's this kind of plant that is where he was supposed to have been. Yeah, the flood is in the Epic of Gilgamesh. Old Testament is Jewish. Yeah, but that whole Moses thing, he was high. That's what that was. So when he said he saw God, there was like some sort of fire, and they said there's plants actually in that area now that give you hallucinogens, and he breathed that in, got high, and so that's where that religion comes from. Broseph is getting triggered. He doesn't like that the Greek gods could smash his gods, No lives matter. That's what I'm talking about, my dude. People are talking shit. Get them. I like that. I think I might make you a mod. No, Sean Perry, I'd have to say, I read a book when I went to, here, let me read it. I took a picture. I wasn't able to buy it because we're on a rush, but I took a picture of the back of this book, and it was very interesting because you always hear the same thing. You always hear everything is good kind of thing. You don't really hear both sides of the argument. Let's see, what's the book called? I only took a picture of the back. Okay, I don't know what it's called, but here's kind of the paragraph. They said, when Emperor Constantine converted to Christianity in the 4th century AD and declared it the official religion of the Roman Empire, he initiated a change that would thrust the Western world into a dark age. The closing of the Western mind is Charles Freeman's enthralling account of this pivotal point in Western history. Drawing on his encyclopedic knowledge of the ancient world, Freeman shows how the first alliance of church and state resulted in the abandonment of the Greek intellectual tradition. He explained how the efforts of Christian leaders to establish an orthodoxy and solidify their position within the state led them to stifle debate and dissent and to paper over doctrinal contradictions. And he examines early church councils, writings, art, and such personalities as Augustine and Ambrose of Milan in a fascinating chronicle of the church's expanding influence and the origins of its uneasiness with sexuality, its profound opposition to science, and its development of anti-Semitism. Interesting. I didn't read that part. With brilliance, clarity, and an eye for vital, Freeman has made a signal contribution to our understanding of the church and the legacy of faith's subjugation of reason. Is that the right passage right here? I took a couple. Is this the right one? Nope. Oh, maybe this is the right one. Is this the right one? Oh, no. Okay, that was the right one. Basically, they were saying that when Christianity took over, they basically, that was kind of funny. Like when Christianity took over, the whole thing fell apart. But from what I heard I took a Roman class, they were saying that Christianity was very nihilistic, right? They didn't really believe in like the your life isn't important. The only thing that matters is the afterlife. So basically, they were kind of saying that whatever happens to you in the afterlife, that's what matters. So if invaders are attacking you, there's really no point. Like if you get killed, then you go to heaven, kind of thing. So you had this nihilism kind of get breeded. Christianity was won by the sword. Yeah. So basically, they had a guy get into a position of power, and then he basically said, "Yeah, you're either Christian or you're dead." So that's how Christianity came to power. There was, and not only that, but Constantine the First wasn't necessarily a Christian himself. He had a lot of coins and things like that. They were originally he was a Sol Invictus supporter, and actually, there's a lot of evidence to say that he was supportive of a lot of different religions. So basically, he was kind of an opportunist that was willing to play whoever was willing to get played. And Christianity was just kind of the one that really won out. But even towards his end, they were saying that he had a lot of Sol Invictus stuff on his coins. But yeah, this was basically saying that when the Christians took over, they got rid of debate, reason, and things like that the Greeks and Romans held in high regard, and instead they replaced it with faith, and so that took everyone back for hundreds of years. Did Rome fall because of diversity? I don't really know. I know they were taking in way too many people. If I had to say the main reasons, obviously there's a lot of reasons, but obviously the main one was they had 100 years of emperors, so people just killing each other for power. And of course, if you want to pay your army, not everyone is rich. So what they did was they just said, "Hey, we'll pay you in my gold," and they destroyed their own system of money, and that's what did it. And so that's why they let everyone basically open borders into Rome. That way, then they could take more money in taxes to try to fix their economy, and it pissed off people because they were taking way too much. They sacked Rome and took all its stuff, and people were probably getting raped and killed. And so that's what led to the Middle Ages, was that everyone just ran to the dukes who would say, "Hey, look, you work for me, and I'll protect you." And so that's what started all the kingdoms in the Middle Ages, basically. And that was the end of Rome. Was it because of diversity? I don't really think so. I think it was, but at the same time, I don't know how diverse they were. I don't really understand how it was. I would say it was because they were killing each other. They destroyed their own currency, and then they brought everyone in to try to say, "Oh, well, now that you're Roman, we could just tax you," and they taxed them way too much. People didn't like that, and then they just said, "Why? Like, you guys are weak. You guys don't even have enough money to buy an army, and you guys are gonna take all of our money when we could just take you over? Fuck that!" And they just went in there and took them over, and then the raping and killing and the normal stuff of war happened, and then people ran to the dukes to protect them, and that is what started the Middle Ages. And we'll see what happens in America. Who knows? The Middle Ages could happen again. If we lose Congress and the left has the majority, they can go and try to impeach Trump, and then they'll try to impeach Pence, and then at some point they'll try to open up they're trying to let everyone they can vote. They're trying to get the criminals vote. They're trying to get the kids to vote. They're looking at the same stats we are, and they're like, "Hey, all the people that support us, let's get them to vote. And if people don't like that, we'll just create some argument, throw it out there to call the other side like the most despicable thing you could think of if they don't support us in giving us more power." And if they go through all that, and then they open up the borders, and things start coming in here, things start getting really crazy. Like your gated communities aren't going to save you anymore, kind of stuff. Then yeah, we're gonna see people are going to be running to whatever areas that they feel is safe, and we're starting to see that in California now. People are leaving in droves, which is good, which is a bad thing, because you have a lot of Democrats moving to red areas, and they're not just suddenly going to change because they're in a red area. They're going to behave the same way they always behaved. If they're pro marijuana, they're going to be pro marijuana there. They're going to vote for pro marijuana stuff. and then they're gonna start turning these areas blue, and then we're gonna start to see a destruction of the whole place. It's not. It's only gonna be good until people like move to an area and they say, look, we don't care what you look like. If you don't have these values, you can fuck off. And then they have to be ready to fight for it. That's the only way you're really gonna protect your stuff. It's kind of like when America first started. Uh, like they wanted states to have rights and all that, but they didn't want to go the same path that Rome had, where every single state would be completely like a whole different nation, like a Greek state, and would have their own armies, because then that would beget a bunch of wars between people. But I feel like that's the only way you can go if things get really bad. Like if you have most of the state that's going to be all voting left, and there's zero chance of the right ever winning again, then you're gonna have to go into that kind of state. Basically, you're gonna have to find some place and just hunker down and say, hey, this is our area, and we can't let anyone else in. There's talk of people want to leave Portland, Oregon. And you know what's funny is the people that want to leave Portland, Oregon, those aren't Trump supporters. Those aren't right-wing people. Those are Democrats. Those are like Antifa people. Those are the people that say diversity is strength, These are the people that are telling us all this shit about multiculturalism and how we're all racist and all this. These are the same fucking people. This is why the hypocrisy is so much. You go to these rich areas and you go there and it's mainly like a lot of white people, a lot of like Asians, probably Jews and things like that. And then you probably ask these people questions, and most of these people are all totally diversity strength. But then it's like, where's all the diversity? The only diversity I see is the people mowing your lawns, right? What is this? It's all virtue signaling. It's all bullshit. These people don't believe the crap that they're saying. They're just scared. They're scared of saying what's actually going on. That's what it comes down to. Because all these groups at the top, the people at the bottom want to take your shit. They want to take your shit, and they don't really necessarily care. They're not going to kick in someone's door and then be like, oh, well, this guy is, he looks like this. I'm just going to leave him alone. They want to be, no, they are elitists. Diversity for thee, but not for me. Yep, there you go. Like all these Antifa people, all these people, they're always a bunch of rich little fucking faggots every single time. Every single time. They have their head up their ass. They have a tunnel vision when it comes to reality, and they think they're right. They're like, I am absolutely right, and I have tunnel vision. I'm gonna, like, when it comes to, they give us all these garbage propaganda arguments all the time, and they think, oh, I went to this school and I'm so smart and I got this degree and I did this and I did that and I got an A in that class. It's like, oh, you're just bragging about how badly you got indoctrinated. That's it. You're like, oh, I got the highest score in the brainwash class. Oh, great job. Great job, Mr. Goldenstein sure told you. This is ridiculous. Oh, fuck. I just got a meme. Some serious stuff. Oh, man. Who's still in here? Let's see. Guys, you have to share it. You got to tell people, because I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. You got to tell people about the show. We're going to, you know what? I want to start doing, not really debates on here. Just made a case for frogs. What's up, frog nationalists? I don't want to do debates on here, but I do want to have some conversations, have some like stuff going on here. More regular stuff, If you want the lifestyle stuff, if you want the conversations, come to the White Elephants. If you want the red pills, you want the high IQ debates, you go to the Red Elephants. That's how it is, guys. That's what it is. White Elephants, it's lifestyle streams, it's hanging out, it's having fun. But the Red Elephants, yeah. So we're gonna come back, from what I heard, around mid-April. We're gonna be doing some debates, high IQ debates. That's the difference. We're gonna be high IQ'd. How about high IQ conversations? I want to make it different. Debate Richard Spencer on the optics of ethno-state traps. Yeah, I don't see any point in debating any of that ethno-state stuff. It's just so overdone. So overdone. There's too much content on all that stuff. And not only that, but when you talk to them about the ethno-state stuff, it's very vague too. Like I think they need to start getting the specifics down about it, and then so then people can have debates on, instead of the idea of an ethno-state, they could debate like the specifics of it instead. No way debates traps though, because some things aren't. You don't have to debate. It's just an absolute truth, right? Like I don't respect people that debate pedophilia because it's not a debate. Like that's an absolute truth. You just don't do certain things. End of story. You don't debate that. You could probably debate hipophilia. There's an argument there, because for a long time, basically. And till today in this world, there's still a lot of cultures where it's like the minute you, if you're a woman, the minute you have a period, all of a sudden you're a woman now. In the past, they were doing that too. But of course, the death rates were people were dying quicker, because women were dying in birth because they didn't have the technology we have today to save them. Makes sense and all that. But if you look around the world too, there's age of consent all over the place. Usually, I think the lowest I've ever seen is like 12. Obviously, in the Middle East, there's no age of consent. You just have to be married, so you can just do whatever you want over there. But yeah, there's a kind of a debate on that. But like pedophilia, no, there's no debate on that anywhere. If there are cat girls, there will be cat boys. What kind of gay shit is this? What kind of gay shit you guys talking about? Whoa. Cat. What, are we talking about some furry shit now? Need some cute. What the fuck? Frog Nationals, are you a woman or a dude? Bye, Michelle. What the hell are you guys talking about? Why are we talking about cats? We got another 13 minutes until the show's over, guys. I'm going to end it at midnight. We're going to end nice and early. And I'm probably just going to go to bed, honestly. I'm a trap soul dude. Gotta stop acting gay, man. I wish Hopper Chan wasn't a mod so we could batter. Ugh. The Z's are hitting me, guys. I'm getting hit by the Z's. Hopefully, we'll see some good stuff today after this. Hopefully, there's a couple more subs. Obviously, you guys have some money to throw around. I always say thank you for all that stuff. You need to put some cat ears on, dude. What the f... Hoppa Chan's being bad. Frog Nationals, I tried being straight for a long time. Probably gonna try again. So are you actually a tranny? Try being straight. So you said... So you are a dude who's trying to... Oh, so Frog Nationals is a trap. I'm not even a tranny. Is there a difference between a tranny and a transgender? I don't really think so, honestly. Unless the difference is like cross-dressing or whatever. A dude who is confused. It's sad. It's sad the state of men nowadays. I mean, they're so lost that they don't know what they want to do with their career. They can't find the women's, and it's gotten so bad that they decided to just change the whole ball game. Just chop your dick off and just change other teams, huh? I'm just too feminine to be a Chad. So the choice is clear. Not really. You're kind of made for a specific reason. You could say it's God or whatever, but you were made a certain way, and I don't think it should be in your. Well, I guess you could do what you want, I guess, but there's consequences to doing what you want to. There's consequences to doing weird shit. You look at all the people that go down that path. It's usually suicide because it leads to mental illness stuff. I don't know if you decide that you have to cut your dick off and you have to go jump on the air team, fine, but it never leads to a good life. It's gender dysphoria is a mental disease, and is there such a thing as toxic feminism? Well, I mean, it's cancerous feminism, toxic. Yeah, cancer is pretty toxic, but yeah, I mean, the whole transgender thing is just all mental illness. That's it, because it leads to mental illnesses, and I'm not gonna cut my dick off. I don't want to be a girl. Wait, but I thought you said you were like a transgender person though. So isn't the whole point is that you want to switch to the other team? But to go back to the rant, yeah, I mean, most people suicide, and then or they decide, oh, I want to switch back, and this is all on our dime, by the way. It's okay to be a more feminine guy. He was joking. A feminine guy. I don't really like feminine dudes. Yeah, because then I think of hipsters or hippies or any of these fucking like weak people, and I mean, not everyone can be strong and all of that. I get it, but you should try your best. Don't be some guy walking around and it's uncanny how many trannies are suicidal. Yeah, it's because they're doing something that's very unnatural, and when you do unnatural things, it leads to consequences. And that's one of them. It's one of the things, it leads to, because you don't know what you are and you're all fucked up, and then you start putting yourself on, you start giving yourself unnatural hormones that your body isn't supposed to have, and your body starts getting fucked up, you start going even more crazy, and then next thing you know, you're on a rope somewhere. This is how it goes. You could sit here and you could have a march about how it shouldn't be that way, but that's reality, That's how the gods made it. That's how it was made. Who knows? That's how, whoever created this hologram made it. These are the rules we're playing by. Feel bad for the kids. There's really nothing wrong with the kids today. It's the millennials. It's my generation that grew up that got like fucking hit the hardest with this shit. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. No lives matter. I look girly and I like guys. I take advantage of it.
Go all out, buy some cat ears for Emily.
No lives matter with the $5. Thank you. Buy cat ears. What is going on in this chat? So now we're talking about cat stuff and like basically sounds like furries. Now we're discussing transgender stuff. Well, I don't really think you'd be trans then. You would just be gay, That's what it is. Just be gay. That's all it is. So we're talking about transgenders, homosexuals, and we're talking about what time is it again? God, how many of you guys are on drugs? It's a weird conversation tonight. I'm not trans. That's what I'm saying. Okay, well. Oh, okay. Sounds like we're back. The OBS just disconnected and reconnected. But the good thing is we have a few more minutes until we're off anyway. So at least this is hitting us at the beginning of it, right? The Romans verse 20:18. Yeah, there's a lot of topics that we really need to get back to, that we need to end the discussion on when it comes to science. We really need a lot of people to jump in there on the whole climate change stuff because there's a lot of fake news in there. We need a lot of people to jump in on the marijuana stuff. There's a lot of fake news there. We need a lot of people to jump in on the gay stuff too. Like, no one knows what it is. Like, the studies that try to show that it's a gene thing are pretty crappy. And then there's a lot of good data on it being nurtured, like being molested and things like that. Uh, and then obviously you also got got the atrazine in the water, which is making the frogs gay. So there's a lot of stuff out there, and we need to get to the bottom of this using science. What the fuck? I love weed. It ain't good for the kids. I ain't jumping in on no gay stuff. We all have our line, I suppose. Homosexuality is probably primarily epigenetic. So if you're saying it's epigenetic, then that means the behaviors of your parents went into their genes and then they pass it down to you. Is what I know about epigenetics. Yeah, I don't believe it's a epigenetic thing because then that means your parents would have had to have done homosexual things. Homosexuality was very big during the Roman era, but I guess slaves and power was the cause. From what I've heard, Evan Water, they said that it wasn't hugely rampant. It was going on though, for sure. But they basically said it was free game on slaves, and the main rule that I know is if you're a Roman, you're superior, you're strong, so you don't get penetrated. You do the penetration is basically what it is. So it's not really gay as long as you're not the one getting penetrated. It was kind of like the like rule. Oh, so you think environmental things is doing it? I mean, if we had to go into the environment, I would say the water, the atrazine, the chemicals, the birth control hormones that people are drinking the water, and the filters aren't, the governmental filters aren't really taking these things out. Hot Pachanos, what's up? It's not gay if you fuck another guy as long as you say no homo after. It's not water. Let me see. Because sometimes what you guys say expires faster before I can read. Majority of homosexuals were abused as children. Yeah, I've heard that a lot. No environmental factors, i.e. overpopulation, dictate the genes. I don't see how overpopulation would create homosexuals. Like, like if you want to say that, let's say homosexuality is a genetic thing, and obviously it would be something of like a defect, then overpopulation would be the cause, because if there's more people, there's a higher chance of that happening. I can see that being something. You're right. It's all the shit in the water. That's what I've seen from the atrazine stuff from Alex Jones. That's what basically I've heard. It's better to give than receive. Was that a Roman expression? No, it was basically like, don't be a victim. If you're receiving, then you're like the victim. But but they saw themselves as superior, so they said we're the aggressive ones. We're the ones that are going to be giving. We're never going to take. We're gonna be the ones punching you. We're never gonna be punched. It's kind of the mindset. The more children in the family, the higher chance of homosexuality developing. Okay, so you're just saying that it's like, you're basically saying that it's just there's a higher chance. There's a stats thing. Giving the gift. Don't listen to Alex Jones. Read some peer-reviewed. Yeah, I did. I looked up. There was a video he did where he goes over all of the sources step by step, and I researched all of it and those articles and things that backed up all of it. There's also a documentary that he cites where you go over and they talk about uh, studies and all that. I mean, according to what you're saying, you basically think that that it would be like a genetic defect, and that the more people you have, the higher the chance you're going to have more of these defects. I think some of it is genetic. I just think majority was abused as a child. I don't know. It seems like the only evidence that I could say is I go with the water thing and with the being molested thing are the two things that I think. Because I always thought it was genetic all the time. I always thought, oh, well, it's just, you know, it's just like, it's just just a genetic thing. But then, like, I looked into the studies and all of that because I had an anthropology teacher said, "Oh yeah, it's genetic," and I looked into that one study that they always talk about, and people have destroyed that. It's very small. Uh, it's very small, and there's a lot of holes in it. So that's something that's like for sure. I seriously doubt it's genetic. I always thought it was though. I just thought, it's like um, I mean, the whole point of sex is to reproduce, and you have people that don't want to reproduce with the reproducers. So I always thought, oh well, it's a defect. Like you could have someone that has mental disabilities, right? That's not something that's like a defect too. It's too complicated to narrow down to one thing. Abuse causes it independently from epigenetics, which causes it independently from failed heterosexual relations. So are you saying that like if you're abused and you just happen to have these epigenetic precursors, then somehow if you get abused, then these precursors awaken, kind of thing? So you're saying like a behavior can awaken certain kind of genes? I'm not JF here, so I can't do like a hard on debate, but I can know the abuse causes for a different reason. Oh, that's pretty cool. I could donate to myself if I wanted to. That's pretty cool that you can donate off your phone now. Well, that's gonna give more. It's gonna give people more money. That's for sure. All right, guys. Well, we kind of went over the top. We're talking about some very controversial things too. So yeah, we're gonna have a live stream tomorrow. I'm probably gonna do it somewhat early. Maybe I could do it late. I don't know. I feel like the later shows tend to get more views, and that's kind of the whole point of these things is to get the word out. It boils down to the R and K selection types. Cool stuff. Frog Nationalists ending the stream on a very biological statement. So yeah, so we're gonna end it today. I have to say, we're gonna do a live stream tomorrow. Join the Discord if you haven't. I don't really know what time I want to do it. I still have to look at the analytics of if I want to do it early in the day or later. Time travel makes you gay. Yep, that's what did it. I think that's the whole reason why Doctor Who's gay. He just constantly does all these things. Yeah, join the Discord if you can, guys. You get notified about when I'm doing stuff. There's gonna be a lot of stuff going on. There's gonna be a lot of stuff. It's gonna be going on in the future. Red Elephant's gonna come back. I'm gonna be the co-host on there. We're gonna have a lot of high IQ conversations. Then on here, we have the new shows coming on. We're gonna be doing interviews. I'm gonna be having conversations with people, and it should be a lot of stuff coming up. We also did the IRL topic show. We're gonna do that once a week. We got the show going. I'll do some Discord type stuff. I want to take in some do some interviews with some people, some cool stuff. That's all on this little tiny channel, through the lifestyle streams. So yeah, a lot of stuff coming in the future. So yeah, join the Discord if you can, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. But until tomorrow, stay white, my brothers.